Welcome to the Press Start Podcast. This is episode 4, and I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. And this week, I'm joined by both of my co-hosts, Roger
Hey,
and Miko.
What's going on, guys?
Roger, how you been, man?
been doing pretty good. Been building some Warhammer minis. Pretty good. got the chat on in the background. I see.
Yep.
No, doing pretty good. I got my second COVID shot. Jordan did as well, but that really shit hit her hard, man. She's like dead upstairs. It is so bad. My whole arm started to go numb, and I was like, ah. It just one muscle down the whole arm just started to like hurt all night last night. But 2 weeks from now, I'll be hanging out with people again, playing some D&D and some Warhammer, hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what's up. You've been, what games you been playing lately?
So I was playing some Nier Replicant. Did some Warzone this past week. Started playing the new game mode on Valorant. That's only around for 2 weeks, and that was pretty fun. But other than that, I played a ton of Bannerlord the past 2 weeks.
Still in that game, eh?
Yeah, I just stopped playing it actually today until they release the new update.
No, okay, it's a game that's and still early access, right?
Yeah, it's early access. It's in like 1.5.10 right now. It's early access, but they released it as like, in the ones, so they're already like, this is the full version, but it's early access.
I gotcha. So you've been bettering yourself other than getting the COVID shot?
Yeah, I started working out some more. Been doing just some normal push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, things like that, and then I ride my bike around the block.
There you go.
Go for like a 15-minute bike ride.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, right? Can't just go
Yep.
full force into it and kill
No.
yourself.
Looking to do some disc golf though, probably this weekend.
Yeah, just let me know. I think I should be around. I just gotta double check the schedule.
Sounds good.
But what about you, Meek? What you been? How you been? I should say.
I've been chilling, man. Just still training for this new job. Getting everything situated with the crib. Had a minor leak in the kitchen sink last
Oh,
night.
no.
Just got that fixed this morning, and just getting everything put together. Still got to get a trash can. It's the only thing.
Don't have a trash can.
Yeah, we just
That's
putting
kinda
the bags out. Yeah, no, it's very important. But couldn't find the time in the last week. But nonetheless, that is in the up and coming. But other than that, just been trying to settle in, get really locked in on my new job and performing well there and everything, and keeping up with the podcast and it's been good though. It's been real good vibes.
Yeah, man, that's awesome to hear. I mean, you always got to start somewhere and just keep building and whatnot. No matter if it's a job or your house, your relationships and stuff like that. It's definitely key. But what you been playing other than Warzone? Anything yet?
No, not necessarily. Just some Halo from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's been mostly Warzone. But nonetheless, I do like I like watching gameplay. I can like I said, I often get lost in rabbit holes on Facebook and YouTube. Just watching gameplay of different stuff and like little magic tricks like I was talking about earlier. But nonetheless, but not yet. Personally, I just play Warzone and Halo.
Yeah, it's all good. You stick to the competitive multiplayer.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That adrenaline rush is
I feel you.
victories, Warzone victories.
We got 2 of them things last night. That was exciting.
Yeah, fuck yeah, back to back.
Yes, sir. We
It's
cooking.
tough.
Does Perm run? Because I see Perm. He just joined the chat saying, "What's up, guys?"
I was gonna
Does he roll
say,
with
yeah, what's
us?
going on, Perm? My
Yeah.
guy, yeah, he's been popping up to my streams and whatnot, letting us know he was gonna pull up to the stream. He's been watching previously recorded streams too, so
Cool.
Yeah,
definitely, shout out to Big Perm. But
Glad to have you.
what'd you say?
Glad to have him.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. But
maybe we'll have to get him onto the show. We gotta get him on.
hell yeah. Yes, I was gonna say I was gonna offer that as well. But I think Perm plays. He's more of a casual player though, not too doesn't go too hard, but he is pretty good. I think I did play with him a couple times.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up for sure. You bettering yourself though at all?
Yeah, hell yeah. So a couple days ago on Wednesday, or Tuesday, I went to the gym for the first time in a good little bit, and I
Yeah, I
am
hear that.
definitely feeling the effects, man. It's like I can't lift my arms past that like without
Yeah.
feeling it all right there. It's just
Yeah,
all.
that's definitely the worst. Is get back in the gym and just your muscles not used to you doing that again. You're just like, fuck, man.
Oh yeah, it's a good feeling though. Nonetheless, I do I'm looking forward to getting back in the swing of things, and probably I'm planning on hooping here soon. Probably lose a lung in the process, but nonetheless, I'm going to try to do it.
No, yeah, that's exactly how I've been feeling. But Perm just said in the chat he'd be down for that for sure. So we definitely I'll get in contact with him and see what episode we can get him into. And also want to say what's up, Cat. What is it, Catacris? What's up? Thanks for joining the stream.
Going
Thank you.
on.
But yeah, man. Me personally, just starting the new job last week. Got through training that wasn't really related to what I'm gonna do, but I got to learn the job before
Right.
my actual job. And today we actually
Yeah.
started a new job. Other than some technical difficulties with the computers and whatnot, it's been interesting, but it felt like a lot of information. But I feel like I've been doing really well, picking it up, knocking it out, doing what I need to do. So
Mhm.
it's a new transition, and once I know the system and know how the company operates and works, I think it's gonna be real easy. And
Who's sailing, my brother?
I'm already looking to move into different positions in the company. Like I'm already was talking about potentially getting to the marketing part, so that'd be great.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's a lot of opportunities at West Shore Home. Shout out to the
Oh, that's
company.
cool.
Y'all need y'all shower, bath, windows, and doors. Let me know.
uh, all
But
right.
I've been playing some Warzone, of course. We just like we were talking about, caught some 2 dubs last night, so that was fun. We did
Yeah.
dabble in Apex yesterday as well. Got Roger to
Mhm.
play for the first time.
That shit is so fast paced.
We got
I was not
smoked.
Yeah.
expecting that.
Unreal.
Yeah,
It's so fast.
yeah, we definitely got smoked, man. It was crazy. But agree
But
with
we did make the top 3, so
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Nice.
we had to play. We had to slow it down. We had to land on the outskirts, play in where it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
rotate nice. It was just we got smoked a lot because we were playing Olympus, where I only played on that map like once or twice, so I didn't know how to
Yeah.
play that map. Roger never played the game period before, so that was just going to be a bad shit from the beginning. And then then we go on the World's Edge, and I'm like, all right, cool, let's land here. I like landing here. It's usually a cool spot, get a nice loadout, and I know how to rotate
Yeah.
from it. And look, came in third place, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
definitely
yeah.
take it. But
Studs.
been playing some Near Replicant as well. Again, because that's one of our games that we're going to be doing an in progress review next month.
Mhm.
So be on the lookout for that. Game's fun. The story keeps going. It's definitely a typical RPG
Yeah.
story.
A
So
lot of dialogue.
yeah, it just adds background to it, but then it can get hectic too.
Yeah.
But
But no, shout out to Catachrist here, though. Nah, I don't have any fave Apex heroes yet, but definitely want to give it more of a go. Actually play it some more, because I really enjoyed the game.
right, there's so many characters too to dive into, and they have such
Yeah.
different abilities. Like there's
Yeah.
so many different play styles that
For
you just gotta
sure.
eventually find your play style that you like, and then you can just go in from
Yeah.
there.
I was
Yep.
definitely a Bloodhound whore though, like completely. When I first started playing, like I just all I used was Bloodhound.
But yeah, mine was Wraith when I was first real big into it because I just love like, oh shit, someone's shooting at me, face out, I'm out of here. Or like I can help my teammates move too, like yo, just stay here, let me throw this portal down. I'll
Yeah.
run across pretty fast, and you take the portal, and then you can come over
Uh,
safely. So yeah, it's definitely been fun. But better than myself. Definitely started hooping because Meek brought up hooping, and you feel like you're coughing up a lung. It's definitely crazy getting back into playing basketball after not playing for a while.
yeah,
You're just like,
bro.
yo, like I used to be able to run up and down the court with no problem, be cool, and now
Yeah.
you run up and down the court once, you're like,
Like you're fighting for your life,
all right,
yo.
it's like
Yeah.
shit.
Like,
And then one of
checking
my
your chest to make sure it's beating, like your heart is still beating and shit. Like it's
exactly.
crazy.
And one of my boys, Stefan, he's always been the guy that whenever I hoop with, he always pushes me. Like if he sees me walking or not running back on defense or something like that, like, yo Vic, jog back. I'm like, he's always been the one that pushes me,
Yeah, it's
and
like
like
I got you,
I'm hurting.
coach. I got you, coach.
I'm hurting, but I got you. But so I had to tell him, I was like, yo, you might have to take it a little bit easy on me a little bit. I ain't gonna be running
You
back
take
every
it down
time.
a notch.
But I can't wait to be back in the swing of things and hopefully get back in the gym eventually. But yeah, definitely got to work on my health. I've been trying to cut back drinking a beer, even though cheers to everybody.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's fine.
But yeah, man, let's get into the reason why we're all here today. So we're gonna start off with our gaming topics. We actually have a lot of gaming news to get into, even though it was, I would say, more of a quieter week, but there was just a lot
Yeah.
of little stuff that was popping off. So Epic Games was in the news quite a lot this week. So they actually we found this out during their whole legal dispute right now that they were trying to convince Xbox to make multiplayer free, even though Microsoft already was in the midst of making
Yeah.
it free to play. But apparently Epic wants multiplayer to be a free across the board for every game. So I don't know about that. I don't think that's gonna work. But what are you guys' thoughts?
I honestly, Xbox has to keep the server room running somehow. So where are they going to get the money if they're not doing a normal service? It's going to take it out of cuts for the console. So I
Right.
think without them doing the pay model they're doing now, they're definitely going to have to fall back on increasing prices for consoles.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to increase the price of consoles. I think we're going to start seeing a slow increase on Game Pass. Game Pass
Maybe,
is
yeah.
huge. In Game Pass, I really think they're going to start phasing out Xbox Live Gold because they already
Mhm.
rebranded it to
Yeah.
Xbox Network, just which we already talked about. That name still drives me crazy. So I'm thinking Xbox
Mm,
Live Gold or whatever is going to phase out, and you're going to have two tiers. You're going to have Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and those are going to be your two
exactly.
tiers. But those prices are going to have to increase because they're starting to add a lot of value into Game Pass. Like you look
Yeah.
at Netflix, and even Hulu and stuff. They started producing more content. They started locking in more deals. Guess what? $1 here, $1 there every year, because they got to have some kind of income that's going to be going towards. If you want better content, guess what?
Mhm,
You're gonna have to pay for it.
exactly.
So I definitely see that happening. What's your thoughts on that, Meek? Anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I find it funny. I mean, given the story of why Epic was trying to tell Xbox that all of in a plot to go after who was it really? It was
It's probably Apple, my guess,
yeah,
but
yeah, 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 Apple, the App Store. Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah,
But nonetheless, yeah, I think it was. I think it's really cool how active they are in that. They see. They know their worth and they see that where the money's at and whatnot. I mean, for Xbox especially because I mean that accessibility could peak their the Xbox store. They just incline more people to buy consoles and just buy on their online system for
hmm
purchasing and stuff like that rather than paying for a membership. I mean, it could just it loses out in the revenue with the memberships, but nonetheless can spread the money elsewhere. I
right,
think it would be
exactly.
really good for Xbox to do that because Sony's been doing that for so long, and they've they peak with their sales, with PS5s, PS4s, every year whenever they release the next gen or anything like that. It's just I feel like their accessibility is what makes them,
hmm
you know, get that market. But nonetheless, yeah, it's another yeah, it's just like they're fighting the people's fight. I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of people wanted Xbox to do that for a while, for a good little bit.
Right. Yeah, it definitely
That's
makes
always
sense.
been the biggest argument for people like PC, console versus PC. It's always like, well, why do I have to pay to get onto the internet that I'm already paying to get onto?
Exactly, exactly,
Why do I want a second tax to get to the internet?
right.
Right, but the way to look at it is you're paying to be on a really
Yeah,
foundation. Their servers and stuff
it's
are
a mini
really
social
good.
network.
Yeah, like
It's yeah,
you're paying for stability because look at PlayStation. You won't pay for it, but guess what? Your PlayStation Network's going to go down
yeah,
Yeah.
a
yeah,
lot, and might get
yeah.
hacked.
You might lose your credit card data, things like that.
Yeah. So like, which one do you want? You pick and choose. That's why there's
Yeah.
options, and it's an open market. Go ahead and choose what you want to play. You can go play on PC and
Mm,
not have to pay for anything except for
Yeah.
your internet bill. Or you go play on Xbox and you get the same quality, except maybe I think a little bit better with the servers and stuff. And then PlayStation, nah, forget
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I mean, you have an app for everything on PC, so I'd fight that. But
Yeah, but
the Xbox app sucks.
yes. Side note to both of you guys. You guys are talking about raising prices on the consoles and stuff like that. You do know that neither companies make money off of their consoles. They actually
Yeah,
lose money from selling the
No, yeah,
consoles.
I
yeah.
didn't say anything
Okay, I
about
was
the
just making sure
consoles.
because PlayStation actually just announced theirs on PS5. They are not going to make any money from their consoles. Period.
Yeah, it's all about their studio at this point. That's why
Yeah,
Blizzard, or that's why Microsoft keeps buying studios. It's so that they can keep publishing games,
Right.
and then Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would kind of
Exactly.
more so say we'd see more inflation on, like I said, the Microsoft store
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
were to
agree.
happen.
Yeah. Right. I mean, think about it. The games the prices of games have not gone up in actually a long time. They've been at
a
pretty
lot of
steady
times
at
they're going
60.
down in
Right.
some cases.
In some cases, they're
$40
going
is
up
the new
too.
total.
They're basing it off the content, but now you're starting to see it in next gen. Some next gen games, even majority that you see on PlayStation, are $70 for next gen
Mhm.
games. Which some people are like, "Oh, you're crazy. Why is it $70?" Like, think about it. It's been $60 for 10 plus years.
Yeah,
It
Mhm.
hasn't gone up for a while. Like, games used to be more expensive back in the day, buying games for N64 and PS1 than they are now. So, But on to the next topic here with Epic, though. Epic apparently paid $146 million to make Borderlands 3 a PC timed exclusive, which is kind of crazy to think. Like I can't believe they spent that kind of money to make that game. Like I feel like that game's
I
kind of
don't.
big, but I don't know if 146 million was worth it.
I think it kind of is actually.
Mm.
It really. I really think that Borderlands 3 had a big launch, and with it being on the Epic Games Store, I think it's one of those things that gave it a fighting chance against Steam. It really did. It was like for me, I was like, oh, I'll just go buy Borderlands 3 on Steam.
You couldn't,
I can't. So now I have to go to the Epic Games Store.
or just
Oh,
wait,
look, there's
just
free
wait,
games.
right? Or
Yeah,
just wait until it's no longer exclusive.
yeah. So it definitely, I think, they're not paying for the Borderlands 3. They're paying for the Borderlands 3 bringing in it being a marketing ploy. It is
Hell yeah.
definitely a
Yeah.
marketing ploy to get people onto the Epic Game
It's an
Store
investment.
because people were going to buy it that way.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Because like it's a new store technically. Because
Yeah.
Steam, it's obviously a major issue right now. Even because our next topic, which we'll get into, is
Yeah.
each platform has like its monopoly of a store.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Apple, the App Store. Microsoft
Yeah.
only has the Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
PlayStation. PC has Steam.
Yeah.
That's it basically. Like, of course, there's some other smaller clients, but there's not another
Yeah,
one that competes
like
with it now, other than Steam.
Android's the only one
Or,
that's kind of like we have a store, but you can install anything you want.
Hmm.
right, because it's open
I
source
just-
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. I like the idea that they're trying to push for more of an open market for sure to rival Steam. But Steam, like, it's gonna like I personally like to have one place where all of my games are at. So I'm okay with only having one store. Like I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I kind
But
of get where you're coming from.
or like, all right, cool. If I buy it from Epic Games or whatever, is there a way to import it to Steam or something like that? Or, like, there got to be a way to transport it just
Yeah.
so I can keep it all in one client. Because like
No,
on my
exactly.
Xbox, if I had Xbox Store and Epic Game Store, Activision Store, like, and I had to go to each app to play that game, it would kind of be stupid. Like, I just want to be able to click on my games and play
Yeah.
them.
No, exactly.
But
But I think definitely it's a marketing ploy is what we dealt with
Yeah.
here. You know, how can we get people away from Steam?
oh, okay.
And exactly what Spooky Crew says. Yeah, you buy a game like you have an old digital, like an old copy of like I have an old Star Wars RP like strategy game. I can import that into Steam and play it there. You know, Steam will launch it and everything for me, add it to my library, and if
Yeah,
the
but-
game's in their catalog, they'll even give me all the store content like news and stuff.
Are you talking about like old games? No new games.
No,
Like a-
new games too. Anything.
Okay.
I can add Minecraft to Steam if I really wanted to.
But isn't it already on Steam? No.
It wasn't at first.
Oh, I'm not sure.
It
if
might
is
be
or not.
now. I don't think it is. I think it's only on the Windows Store.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, on to our next topic here that we kind of aforementioned here was Sony is being sued for restricting digital game sales to the PS Store. I don't know like how this could even be a thing because like what are they
Yeah.
gonna do? Add other stores? Like I was just talking about add other stores to the system. I don't see that being a thing. What are
Yeah,
your guys' thoughts?
it's like because then it becomes a little gray area. Like for example, I have Microsoft support at work, and I can get Microsoft support on a product. But if a third-party product is the issue, support ends there. So if you start adding in a new store, then Sony has to be like, sorry, can't help you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Your console issues that store.
right.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I saw there was some comments saying that you know, if you go into buying a digital only PS5, I mean, all you can expect is just to buy it from the PS Store. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think you're gonna go to Walmart and buy like a digital code and you know just go to it's just
You could.
buy it on just buy it. I mean, just buy it on your console though. You're like you're right there.
Well,
Right.
you might be able to get the
Constantly.
code for cheaper somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but still, like I just
Because that's definitely a thing. Like that's why I don't understand.
yeah,
the whole
retail
suing-
is a thing. Yeah,
I don't
But,
understand suing Sony
Yeah.
for the PlayStation Store when I can go to GameStop and buy a digital copy of the game, or I can go to Walmart and buy the digital copy of the game. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have other stores to go buy the game.
Yeah, it's
But I get
just
it.
it's the database where I download the game.
Right.
That's all it is at this point.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
I can pay whoever I want for the digital copy. I can go to Amazon right now and buy it from them, and then get it off your store.
Right. But yeah. So I think it's stupid.
I think the lawsuits right now that they're like, oh, Epic Games is suing Apple for their proprietary. Fuck, what's the point? Like, I get,
But they're suing them for honestly a completely different thing.
yeah,
It's not about the
and that's
store.
the
It's
thing.
about the
But
the
that's what the
terms.
issue is. People are using that as a precedent to try and push other lawsuits.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully this doesn't keep waterfalling and getting snowballing, I should say, and getting worse because
Yeah.
you're going to be running into issues that don't need to be issues.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with where it's definitely going to cause more ripple effects if like, oh, you can't have proprietary ownership of your console, like you can't be the only store in town. It's like then they have to build in support for other stores, then other stores are gonna come out of nowhere, then we're gonna have Chinese knockoff stores,
Right.
and
But
then
ultimately,
where do you download the app to install another store?
right.
Where
You're going to just go
no,
to the web browser and
you
download
go to
it,
the
but then
yeah
but then like it runs into that same thing that I brought up I think last week when I was talking to Paris Lilly on his on the Twitter Spaces, right?
yeah
Like Game Pass can be run on a browser. So if I can just go to Game Pass on a
yeah
PlayStation, can I run it? No, because Sony still has their rights and their terms and conditions to
yeah
say no. They can deny access. The same thing if anybody wants to add a store to their system, whether it's a web browser based or an app that you download from the PlayStation Store to open up a new store. Stupid, but it's the same thing. They can be like, no, we have complete control. You're breaking our terms and
Yeah,
conditions. Sorry.
no
exactly.
exactly
So like those are the issues that they're definitely gonna just run into. But
yeah
onto a more successful company, I would say is Nintendo. The Switch sales are approaching 85 million
yeah
sales, and actually I
Crazy.
was reading this today is they physically cannot produce enough
yeah
Switches to keep
yeah
up with demand.
demand is huge right now for the Switches. The big issue is last year they were coming with, oh, we don't have enough demand for our Switches. The Switches weren't selling. Then all of a sudden,
The pandemic
boom.
hits.
Yeah, well,
That's what it
not
was.
only the pandemic, even in the beginning of the pandemic, it took a while. The Switch is just like nobody wants the console, and then all of a sudden people were like, Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
and then
Work
a
from
bunch of
home.
other games. It's just like work from home, Animal Crossing, all this stuff just kept hitting one after another, and people were like, there's so many good games
Yeah.
coming out on the Switch. Like Pokemon Snap just came out last week.
Yeah, that's
And
gonna
we
be
didn't
big.
even talk about that, but Pokemon Snap came out and that was huge. Like it just they barely marketed it. And then a bunch of people I just talked to and they're like, "Yeah, I have Pokemon Snap. I have Pokemon Snap."
Yeah.
And like Jordan just like impulse bought it because her friend had it and she was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god, if her friend likes it, she'll like it too." And it's the Switch just is doing so well. It just has everything.
Right. Yeah, I have I have a Switch, but it's in South Carolina. Girlfriend wanted to just have it to play it
Yeah,
whenever, so I was like, all right, cool.
yeah, yeah,
If you want to get into
yeah.
gaming, go ahead, because she's not really much of a gamer. So
Yeah.
anything to try and get her, entice her to start playing games more,
No, yeah,
I'll
that's what I
take it.
had. My wife. It's just like something to do, and then you don't feel guilty gaming.
Right, exactly. Like, don't get mad at me when you're playing Mario Kart all
Redirect.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no, it's been great. I can't wait to buy more games and stuff. But yeah, Nintendo Switch is interesting to see. Like this is actually their most profitable year ever. Period. So
yeah,
that's awesome to hear. And like all the talks that we've been having on our show too about the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro or whatever that's next. Because you figure this console's been out for 4 or 5 years, so it's ready for a refresh.
yeah,
Maybe
and
not the next gen, but there's definitely in that time
yeah,
frame.
and the crazy part is it's how many units they sold is the crazy part.
Hmm.
They sold over 85 million units. That's not dollar
Dollars.
sales. That's unit sales.
Yeah.
So that means they made $8 billion, over $8 billion last year on them.
Well, it just depends if they sold the Switch Lite or the regular Switch. But even then, that's
Oh,
still
they're over $100. Period. So
right.
$8.5 billion last year in revenue. That's crazy. The Switch did really well, and I honestly, with the announcement of the next Switch, I'm excited because I want to see that announcement come out.
Yeah, because I think with the next Switch, it's going to be like one of those refreshers that's a little bit more
Yeah,
powerful. It's not next gen,
it,
but it's a
it's
little bit more
it's like
powerful.
it's like what they do with the 3DS.
Or even the Xbox and PlayStation, like
Yeah,
last generation, they would Xbox One S and Xbox One X and stuff
yeah,
like that. So I think that it'll be just like that, where people still want the regular Switch, so they can play all these games. So those sales are
Yeah.
still going to go up. But all those people who have the Switch now want a newer Switch, a better
Hmm.
Switch. They're going to upgrade to that. So like their sales I think are still just going to keep going through the roof.
Oh
And
yeah, I think they're in a great spot. I think they started out slow because just like any console, just like the Xbox is dealing with and the PlayStation is dealing with, they didn't have enough games.
right.
Now the Switch catalog is huge.
Yeah, and a lot of third-party developers are starting to even port their
Oh
games
yeah,
over to the Switch now, whether
like
they're
now,
best graphics or not, because
yeah,
that
like
console's
on my
not meant for
shelf,
graphics.
you can see the games have all their developers on. It's like Nintendo, different developer, Nintendo, and I'm starting to see more and more developers.
Yeah, it's great to see. I'm excited for the Nintendo
No,
Switch.
I definitely.
The Nintendo consoles honestly have been only known for making Nintendo games, so it's cool to see that third parties are starting to be like, this console is not just this goofy family oriented
No,
console
yeah,
anymore. The Switch is a console that you play at home with the family, but also for the hardcore gamer that wants to take the game on the road
it
and
is. It is the
travel.
next way to play your JRPGs or your dedicated travel gaming. Like you said, it's where Pokemon is. It's where all your stuff is. You don't have two consoles now with Nintendo. That was Nintendo's big issue. You had the
Mm-hmm.
Wii and the DS.
Yep.
Now you have the Switch. That's it. They're just one console now. So
Yeah.
it really kind of bridges that gap between needing a home Nintendo console that can do all you want and taking it on the go, and then merging that gameplay so that you can still play those games like Disgaea, for example, which is like that classic iconic play with your computer. Like I didn't want to play Disgaea on a console, like sitting at my couch. I wanted to play that on the train or something to work. But now with the Switch, I can do both if I really wanted to.
Right. Yeah. I'm
So
excited
I
for the
think
Switch.
they're really in a good spot right now, and it's huge to see that they had their most profitable year. Coming from like Switches where the Wii U, the the CEO of the company cut his salary and stopped paying himself for,
Yeah.
a few years when the company failed to sell the Wii U.
Yeah. Because the Wii U almost seemed like an add-on. It wasn't really like
Yeah.
a new console, even though the console was the handheld part,
Yeah.
more or less.
And it wasn't really an add-on either. It was a whole new thing altogether, but it just didn't have enough at the beginning to really make it shine.
Right.
That was the issue, like all consoles are dealing with right now.
Right. Meek, did you ever have a Nintendo console at all?
No, I'd never had one myself, but I had a teammate, my boy Jack, when I went to Westchester. He had a Nintendo Switch, and he would bring it to all the games and stuff like that. He was real big on Super Smash,
Right.
that sort of thing where everybody
Oh
would
yeah,
just play it. And
we
then,
play
like,
Smash tournaments here. It's so much fun.
yeah,
Yeah, I get
it's
fucked up.
awesome. Yeah, and Nintendo is just they definitely like you guys have been saying they just have a kind of a perfect scheme going on, especially with the pandemic hitting. Like it almost just going thinking back to Sony, with the PSP, it's just kind of
Yeah,
sucks. Like I wish they could have just released it towards
a new
around
PSP.
now, like Nintendo
Right.
did.
Right. If the
Like
PSP came out now, it'd probably
oh
be
my
selling like
gosh,
hotcakes. But they shut
insane.
down. They want to shut all that stuff down because
Yeah,
they want to focus
exactly.
more on
It was it was
the
it was
consoles.
it was faulty marketing. It was
Well,
too
they want to be a
soon.
studio. That's the thing. All these big game companies are like, we're done. We're done making consoles. We want to do studios, but we still have to make consoles to sell our games on. Otherwise, we have to go to all PC, and then we lose market. We lose market revenue on the game sales. Then.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, because not everybody wants to sit at a computer desk and play games. People want to sit
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
couch and chill
Yeah,
out, play the games, or in a recliner or game chairs like both of y'all are sitting in right now. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. Consoles, I don't think are going anywhere anytime soon. But let's move on here a little bit. The Witcher 3, great game, obviously, but this is another bad PR stunt, or not stunt, but another bad PR here is one
Yeah.
of the head directors leaves CD Project Red after allegedly saying that there's a workplace bullying going on. That's rough to hear, man. Bullying,
Yeah.
I personally don't accept bullying anywhere. Like obviously,
Well,
like what's the point? But like,
it's an issue with the gaming industry in general. The gaming industry is abusive. Like people are like, "Oh, I'd love to be a game developer," but like working in a AAA studio, it's bad. People get abused. People, work normally 60 plus hour weeks. There isn't really like people talk about the time they get to spend with their family and they're like, I haven't seen my daughters in a week. Some people have said,
right,
and like Riot, they had a huge scandal where they were having like huge sexism scandals. Like they were just, it was sexual abuse out the ass through Riot, like Riot Gaming, and that was intense. It's these big companies, they're so clustered, and they're kind of like slave labor almost. It's like you
Right.
either get a paycheck and you get to work this job you think you want to like, or you know, you get a normal life, and it's people want to be in game design, and that's the issue.
Right. And I mean, I get the whole the workplace bullying, because I can only imagine, because what they had, they were crunched. They were throwing crunch time and working like 60 hours a week trying to finish up Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk was supposed to come out like 6 different times, but they kept pushing it up, pushing it up, pushing it up.
Exactly.
And then they
And
got to
they're
the
like,
point where
it's
like
done,
you
it's
need to
done,
finish
it's
it now.
done.
Yeah, it went
Yeah.
gold, and they were like, never mind, it's not done yet. So, and they kept forcing these developers to stay longer and work on this game longer. And this game's been in works for like 8 years, and they're probably getting to the point like, can we just release the game already?
Yeah. It's one of those things where they're like, we have these goals, but
Bless you.
Bless you.
we have these high lofty goals, but we're just not getting there, and it's an issue with the culture of game design in general. AAA gaming is a problem right now. It's
Yeah.
indie studios are really where it's at. That indie to mid-range studio.
Yeah.
AAA studios, it's a lot goes under the radar because they have deliverables to meet that are really intense. It's large scale projects. You know, it's not like an investment firm where we have a lot of different investments, and if one fails, you know, it hurts, but it's not going to tank us. Whereas like if Cyberpunk failed, they were going to sink. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the company.
I'm just glad they were able to save that for the most
Yeah.
part, even though it's still not even on the PlayStation store, which is interesting. But Meek, you have any input on this workplace bullying?
No, yeah, that article was interesting. Yeah, he was actually the one that was accused, and
Yeah.
yeah, he kind of it blew over. He was actually relieved of it, but at the end of the day, he knew he was toxic, and it's just crazy, to
Yeah.
think of how that he's aware of that, and he said that they quoted him. He said, people fear working around him. Like it's crazy to be in that type of environment, or to be able to be pushed to that,
Right.
to be that type of person in a work environment. That's insane. And yeah, it's just that hard ass blow when they released Cyberpunk. So Sony released it
Yeah.
off of their stores,
It's still
letting
not
people
back.
get refunds and shit like that. Yeah, it's just like they're that company's
Yeah, they
spiraling
couldn't
down the
afford to
drain. It
keep
seems
people.
like yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think they're doing. Their recovery has been pretty solid. Like all their PR,
Yeah.
like, hey, we're sorry, here's your refunds. Like they've handled it as they should.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just been one bad PR,
Yeah.
situation after another.
Think
Yeah.
about it. Out of all of our episodes, I feel like we talk about CD Project Red most of the fucking time at this point, because it's
Yeah.
like one thing after another.
Well, when Cyberpunk came out, that's what we talked about
That's all we-
nonstop. But
we
like
were hyping it up, and
once
then
a
we were
week,
like, "What the heck was going
Yeah,
on?"
what the fuck is going on? This shit's broke.
it was a roller coaster for sure.
It was great. Like if we go back and watch those episodes, we're like, "Man, can't wait!" Super excited. The week after, we're like, "What the fuck?"
What was the actual
Yeah, I had a
shit?
coworker, my boy Steve. He's a big PC guy. He was playing it. He said he put like even though it was shitty though, like he still put in like 90 hours into it. This
Right,
like he was
but-
fighting through the bullshit just because how good of
Yeah.
a concept it was. It's just a shame, really.
No, it's a fun
shame.
game.
Yeah.
I actually want to actually finish it myself.
I'm on the
waiting-
last mission,
I actually
and I still
personally,
haven't played it.
I'm personally waiting for the next gen upgrade, because I'm playing last gen's game on the next gen console. So I
Yeah.
see what it looks like now. I want to see what it's going to play and look like when it comes out. Whether I
Right.
should probably play and
Yeah.
beat it on current gen, and then replay it on a different type of character, because the story kind of adjusts, and you can make different decisions and stuff. So it'd be a whole different experience. So I might hop back into it thinking about it.
Yeah,
But it does.
like I got 70 hours into the game, and that's actual playtime.
yeah.
Like it was
I
a great
think I was
game.
at like
The
30.
concept's there,
I was at like
but-
20 or 30 hours myself before I stopped.
Mhm. Yeah, I know it looked great. It definitely put my system to the limits, and I didn't play it after I fixed my system, because I did upgrade my system like after I stopped playing it,
Right.
and then I never went back.
You got to give it a try now. You might hop in here like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah, wow, ray tracing is awesome.
It does look
Like-
good in this game. Yeah.
No, I definitely got to say, CD Projekt Red's in a really rough spot, and I'm not sure what their end goal here is. Like, where are they going next? Because
Well,
are
they
they
already
going to go
announced
for
it.
a Witcher?
Yeah, they already
is
announced it. They got two projects in the work, both for in the Witcher franchise, and apparently, of course, some work for Cyberpunk, of course, because like they technically still have that
we know,
multiplayer
yeah.
to work and stuff. So
Yeah, Cyberpunk also has a extra DLC that they wanted to push out, like actual full-on story content DLC and free DLC. But like,
we're not going to see that anytime soon.
No, and that's
Maybe
why
by
I'm
the end of the
like,
year. Maybe.
and I was curious where they were going to go with Witcher because they left it at a point where they could be like, the Witcher series is done. They could
Right.
have ended it. But now if they want to keep going, or what are they going to do? Prequels, or, are they going to go back to the book timeline and start doing stuff in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of lore that they can dive into with that
Yeah.
series, and even branch off and tell a story in the same timeline or something like. There's many ways. Look at Call
Nope.
of Duty, how the hell
Yep.
they do it.
But it's definitely worthwhile to see. But I'm sad to see that CD Projekt Red is such a great company. Like, they did so well for the gaming industry to be such a shitty company internally. Like, to hear these stories all the time.
Right.
And, it might be that because I think they're publicly traded now. For a while there, they were, just their own studio. Like, you saw their booth at E3 was like a monitor and a mouse. And they were like, go for it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
it's
They
like,
definitely grew rapidly with the Witcher series,
yeah,
especially once they had Witcher 3 come out, because that was the game that put them over
yeah,
the top. But then
yeah. Witcher 3
Cyberpunk,
won Game of the Year and stuff like that.
and then coming off the Witcher 3, of course, their next game you're going to be highly, highly, highly ambitious and anticipated for. So you're like,
Yeah,
oh, can't wait for their next great project, and it's subpar.
yeah. But moving on to another one, big projects, Halo,
Yeah.
and being overly ambitious. Former Halo Infinite dev says the execs were overly ambitious. Did
Yeah.
I feel like I called this one in the beginning. I
No,
feel
yeah, I
like I've
remember you
said this
saying
many,
that.
many times before the articles even came out. I think this game is going to get overhyped, and it's going to be the death of Halo.
It's going to
It
be.
is. It
It's going
is
to be
going. It's the
Cyberpunk.
nail in the coffin.
It's
Never
going to
liked
be.
Infinite, ever.
What do you mean never?
Yeah.
It's their first game, in Infinite. Infinite is the name of this
It's their,
title.
I feel like they had a Halo Infinite a while ago. That was like map based. It was like quest based. That wasn't Halo Infinite. What was that?
Nope.
No, it hasn't been released yet. That's the game they're working on. It's like an open world Halo,
Yeah.
and
It was
it
supposed to come out last
sworn
year.
they had something
yeah,
like that
and
years
no.
ago. Though I'm talking
Mm,
years ago. I thought they had something like
I
that
think
already.
I know which one you're talking about. Was it like one of the ones that was either top down or it was like one of those mission based ones where you jumped in
Yeah,
with a
you
squad
go
of
to
like four
different
of your
planets
friends?
and shit like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I thought that was Infinite. I'm sorry.
I think that was in Halo Reach or Halo 4. It was like a side thing. It wasn't the actual game itself.
yeah. Yeah.
But then
No.
Halo 5 came out, and people were like, what is this garbage? And then they're like, just wait for Halo Infinite. It gets better. And we're like, I mean,
I
like,
would hope so. No. Hey,
yeah,
but
I would
So
hope.
I guess to fill you in, Meek, Halo Infinite is Halo 6, more or less. They just
No,
rebranded it,
yeah, no,
and
I
it's
get
supposed to
that.
be a spiritual reboot of the original Halo. It's supposed to have some callbacks and shit to it, and it's supposed to
I thought this
reboot
was
the
like a
franchise.
re-release or something like that.
No,
Reboot the
it was supposed
franchise.
to come out last year when the console came out, same day, but
Yeah.
they delayed it because it had a poor showing over the summer and people were making
Yeah.
fun of it. And so they went back. They took a whole year, and now they're about to release it this year, which is actually I don't see even better because it's the 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary of Halo. So
No.
Yeah,
it makes more
let's
sense.
bury it on its 25th birthday.
Yeah.
Like 25 years, that's old enough for a pet project. That's all I'm saying. Pets don't make it that long.
No, not at all. So I
Master
mean,
Chief till I die.
no, I
Master
mean,
Chief edition
I
till I die.
personally, as we always talk, I personally hope Halo Infinite is that
I-
game that turns the
honestly,
franchise back to where it was.
Honestly, last time I hoped for a game to do well, we got Cyberpunk. Okay, so like,
Yeah, we got burned.
go in with expectations of a polished turd, and I get a diamond. Then I'm the winner here. But if I'm like, this is gonna be the best Halo ever, and then I go in and it's literally a clusterfuck,
Mediocre.
Yeah, like,
mediocre would be good compared to what I'm expecting.
like who made this game? Like
Yeah.
343 or the guys who made Among Us? Because I can't. This is crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy
no,
right now.
it's so, but they did release notes on their blog. So
Mhm.
they talked about the big bad, I guess, of the game now is two brute chieftains that are not fans of you and being a Spartan.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, Master Chief in history always had that controversy, heated exchange with the brutes, of course. But yeah, they in the blog they announced the new vehicle, the Razorback, which looks like a warthog with I don't know what the heck to cross it
It's a
over.
warthog that has an enclosure on the front, so it's like
No more riding around getting picked off by them fucking snipers.
I mean, glass is glass. You can still shoot through it. I mean,
Yes, but maybe the hit markers are going to be fucked up, so it's okay.
yeah,
Look how
but
hard it
like,
is to fucking shoot in Warzone through glass. In the car itself, you should be able to shoot right through them cars, except
yeah,
maybe one of them.
no, I definitely agree that the new enemies, like, cool, we're going back to fighting brutes, but are we also fighting elites? So like, I feel like there's a lot of story untouched that they kind of didn't want to address in the Halo series. Like, I guess they did it with the extended universe, but I don't know.
Right.
I feel like fighting more brutes, just two other brute bad guys.
Right.
But they did announce a new weapon,
Yeah, it
which is
looks
just
pretty
like
cool.
a turret, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like you can probably dual wield it too, or
No, no, the
it's a
new weapon
turret.
I
You
thought
said?
was a turret. Yeah, it's a
Oh
turret, I thought.
shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I was looking at the picture. It looks like a little small, like you said it was a looked
They didn't
like
do a
the
good
size
job
of
of
a
showing it.
skewer or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Like, I got the concept art for the new bad
Oh
guys,
no,
but like
yeah,
the
I see.
turret.
Yes, it is a turret now. That's
Yeah,
looking at
it's like a mounted
it.
Gauss turret or something.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
guess it's like a mobile
Which
one. You can like throw
which
it
we
down,
haven't
shoot.
yeah, which we haven't seen a Gauss turret like since what, Halo 1 was the original Gauss turret, and then they put it into like the Master Chief collection, and then we don't really talk about it in any other game.
Right. The Gauss Terror was always fun. I used to fuck shit up with that because the regular Warthog, I'm like, what am I hitting? Am I even hitting anything?
Yeah, it felt like you were shooting, I don't know, rubber bullets.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah,
I'll say the brutes
nonetheless,
look pretty cool though, but yeah, it just seems like they're
you
just
know, my guess is why they released what those brutes look like is because of why the backlash that they got with what did they name that brute that really fucked up looking brute is what the meme that went around. Fuck, what is his name? Like
I don't
Sam
remember.
or something like that. Like like
yeah, I don't
it was
know.
during their trailer
Oh,
video
okay.
of their gameplay reveal. And that was like one of the things that people pointed out. Like, look how badly designed the brute looks. Like, he looks like he's from
Yeah.
PlayStation 1. Like, that's how bad it
Oh
looked.
yeah, yeah. No, I do remember that. It was a really bad rendering, and like the game looked horrible. And people were like, "Wow, this is you with extra time? Cool." What do we expect? And that's, I think, one of the reasons I'm like, this is not going to be a great game.
No, yeah. No, now they look good with the blog update.
Yeah.
It looks cool, but in
Well, the
render
blog
and how it
update is
plays.
only concept art, though. That's only concept art. That's not even actual
Yeah,
renderings.
it's just like
It's
somebody
just
just
an
bored.
artist drawing in
Yeah.
in paint.
Let's release this.
It looks really good. Nah,
Yeah, well, how
Master,
the
do you
game's
like?
like. But no, moving on. This is something that interests you. The Assassin's Creed announced their new DLC.
yeah, I'm excited, man. Wrath of the Druids DLC
Yeah,
released. It actually just came out today as we're
that look
speaking.
cool as shit.
Um, what I'm unfortunately hearing bad reviews from it
Oh
just
yeah.
because it has like a lack of connection to the main story, and
Hmm.
that to me that would be important.
Went off on a
Like,
limb. Yeah.
why I played through 80 hours of a campaign or however long it was, and I go, cool, I get to use my badass character in something that has nothing to do with the story anymore. I'm like,
Yep.
okay,
That has always been an
It-
issue with Assassin's Creed.
it-
Their DLCs have always been like, "Hey, we're gonna use the engine and do something completely different." I've seen Monty Python sketches that are like, "Now for something completely different," and they're just like gone.
yeah,
Alternative
That's-
universe.
yeah,
no, but
it
none,
just feels disjointed.
nonetheless, it does look cool. It's exploring the country of Ireland, and of course with the whole
Mhm.
druids, like that clan or whatever, they were really super weird and creepy and magical, I guess you would say.
Majestic.
Yeah, like
Magical.
yeah. So they seem interesting. It's a new enemy type, new faction, and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know if I haven't touched Assassin's Creed since I beat it. So will I hop back into it? Maybe.
Who knows?
Odyssey was fucking dope. I would say I fucked with the Odyssey. That was really fun. Fun, on the ships and whatnot. That shit was fun.
No, yeah,
Like,
I really enjoyed Odyssey and Origins, and then Valhalla. I really enjoyed it. I think I rated it either 8 or 9. So like the game itself is really good, and I just love the meaning and the purpose of the story. Some of it kind of felt a little repetitive, but I like the removal of like side missions where like they made you discover shit and like they had little impacts here and there. Like I don't know, it was just how they did it this time. It was pretty cool. They changed up the formula. That's all I ask. Just try something new. If it works, it works. If not, try
Hmm.
something new. Keep going with it.
But
But
where the next DLC is going to go where now, though?
um, yeah. So according to an article I read
Underground.
from data miners, it's supposed to be Muspel. I don't know how to spell this. Say this one.
Yes.
Muspelheim. I don't even know how to say it.
Muspelheim.
Huh?
Muspelheim.
Yeah. There we go. So I'm
Muspelheim.
guessing that's like hell, more or less.
Yeah.
Because in the game you go to Asgard and you get to go up, live
Yeah.
up with the gods and stuff like that. So that was really cool when you got to hang out with like Thor and Loki and stuff like that, and just having that connection to like watching. Obviously,
Yeah.
that mythology has been around forever, but I'm a huge Marvel fan, and then like trying to put two and two together now, I can really picture like Marvel movies even more now, which is pretty cool. Um, so hopefully that DLC would be pretty a little bit different, definitely a different world. Let's say
Yeah.
nonetheless. I mean, I can picture it like orange, bright, hellish, like on fire.
Well,
Obviously,
Muspelheim is the realm of fire.
hell, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because no, because that's the thing. There are multiple. It's not really hell. It's just a realm of fire. Because there's also a realm of ice where the ice trolls live.
Yeah.
right,
Oh, it's because it's North mythology.
yeah. So I mean, I think it'll be pretty cool just to have a different environment to play in, and that'll be
For
something
sure.
drastically different for the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
I think they kind of left the franchise's roots when you meet Thor.
Well, no, I mean they left the Assassin's Creed true like roots as soon as they
Yeah.
let like with Origins more or less.
Yeah.
I mean Origins is technically the prequel to all of them where you create the
Hmm.
Brotherhood and stuff. Odyssey, I don't see any connection to any of the Assassin's Creed, and Valhalla had
No.
no connection to Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed.
No, it's definitely kind of just
The only
like
thing that really
you're.
connected it was the people that are in like nowadays time
Yeah.
that are in the Ambius or whatever.
Yeah.
So like other than that, like Assassin's Creed, they're
I
still
think
doing
they
good.
just slap the name on it and they kind of keep the formula. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's still a stealth. You can go fuck shit up, whatever. You still get the hidden blade. I mean, technically the assassins are in Valheim, but they're not. They're called I forget the hell they're called in that game, but they're not called
Yeah.
assassins. But this is something that we could tie in with me because Miko, I know you just got a new headset, but there's a new Turtle Beach headset. It's the Recon 500. It looks cool. As you can see here, I'm rocking the Turtle Beach headset here, and I'm looking for a new headset. But how would you think this would compare to your new headset you got?
Uh, I'm head over here heels for my new headset. Yo, this shit is I paid 170 bucks for this motherfucker. I better love every ounce of that, but nonetheless, I definitely got what I expected. But nah, yeah, I was looking at the Turtle Beach. It looks like retail's 80 bucks.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Solid headset. Definitely. I had Turtle Beaches previously, but it's just I have a big ass head, as you guys may or may not know.
I know you
But
already.
I always had a common problem of like breaking this part right here. This would always crack
Yeah, I
on either
noticed that.
side.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It like I don't know if whether it's their design or whatever like that. But I got these specifically because they have a fucking metal rod that goes up that shit,
Yeah,
and like it
you get what you pay
definitely
for, honestly.
yeah
Yeah.
for sure.
No, I definitely being a guy who's left Turtle Beaches years ago. I like even I went to a new brand and a Sennheiser, and
That's a good
it
brand.
was partnered with Massdrop, and still like it the spring in this part has broken,
Oh
and
no.
it doesn't click back anymore. Like Sean has this, my friend Sean has the same headset, and when he tries to talk, it's like sometimes, and I'm like, oh, cool, great, what a quality product for like $100. It just and it didn't even last like 2 years, 2 or 3 years, so it felt pretty shoddy. And like for $80, I could see myself trying it, and because it's a 3.5 millimeter jack, I can use it on a PC.
Right.
But it's I'm not sure if it's one or two connectors, so it may be a little bit of an issue. But I like that it has a removable a mic.
Yeah.
So if I do have a desk mic or get a desk mic, I can just pop it out, and then I don't have this hideous looking thing in front of me if I have,
Right. Yeah.
a
No. Yeah.
desk mic.
Most of my I've been with Turtle Beach from the beginning, and I'm actually in the market for a new headset anyway because this one I've had since last
Yeah.
gen. Um, most of my Turtle Beach headsets actually had the removable mic, even when they were cheaper. This was their $100
Mhm.
headset. I forget which one this is, and honestly, it works really well. Like I have
Yeah,
no issues with it, but the cups are starting to wear a little bit. It's
Yeah.
not as comfortable anymore.
Yeah,
So,
that's one of the things I really like about this one. It's like a felt almost instead
mhm,
of like a foam, and it
yeah,
yeah.
feels it's pretty nice, and it's lasted, and it doesn't dent or anything like that, so it doesn't feel like it's worn down.
Yeah, I was gonna say
right.
I had the Turtle Beach Pro Twos, and they were real solid. Like, they had like solid structure, but I just over time that shit just always breaks. I have no idea why. It's just crazy. But
Yeah,
these Astros are pretty dope. 840s if you guys were one.
No, yeah,
yeah, no,
the A40s is on my radar because I really like it. The price is actually pretty reasonable, but I'm also looking
Mhm.
at the new Microsoft headset because I feel like you're getting a lot of bang for your
Yeah,
buck at
we were
100
already
bucks.
talking
Like
about
that's
that.
a pretty
yeah,
solid headset,
Fuck yeah,
and
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 being
I
an Xbox user,
yeah, and the fact that it has that dual channel support at the same time. So if I want to hop in Discord on my phone or
hmm
computer and still be on my Xbox and play or whatever,
yeah,
especially once fucking PlayStation goes into that partnership with Discord. Like I know a lot of people are probably going to use Discord on PlayStation, and I'd rather use that than try and use Game Chat if I'm going to be running a crossplay.
yeah, no, and I think Discord's definitely going to be the way of the future, and I think having a dual channel mic
yeah,
might be useful until they finally integrate it with consoles.
Every
Because like
console.
I it drives me freaking nuts every time I have to join Xbox Party Chat on my PC. Like it took me a goddamn week to try and get it working the first time because it wouldn't allow. I had to go into like Windows settings, go into the app settings for Xbox, and then give it permission to the microphone. I'm like, you didn't even ask me.
You probably did a long time ago, and like obviously you were like, well, I'm never going to need this. No,
I don't even remember. I don't even remember opening the Xbox app really. That's the thing. So it's just like,
you could have bumped it
it,
too.
yeah, and it was just like, and the Xbox app is also quiet and just doesn't. It feels a lot more clunky. Whereas like being able to use Discord, I think that dual channel support. And I had a dual channel mic before, and they're great. And I like the ability to also change the volumes on different things. So like I had a mic where I had one input for game chat and one input for people. So like when he connected to the computer, it had two different audio outs. So I
Right.
had one, and I had it on a little thing right in front of me, and I could just adjust people or the game based on what I was doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, but back to the Turtle Beach Recon 500. I think this is another good entry level mic. I love when there's options. When there's
yeah,
then when there's a $50 mic, $70, $100,
yeah,
and
for
Yeah,
then
sure.
the whole way up to a $500 mic
yeah,
where we talking about the Ben and Olsen mic. Like, obviously, the people who are questioning that price tag, that mic is not meant for you. That
Yeah,
mic
yeah,
is meant for people who have money.
exactly. Who
That
have
want
value in that?
right
Yeah,
that want
yeah,
a premium headset that really value audio like to that point. Like these headsets, $50 to $100, the audio works just fine. You hear the game crystal for the most part,
yeah,
crystal clear. Chat is just fine. The mic works pretty solidly until it breaks or something like that. But
yeah.
because it's made out of cheap plastic, so of course it's gonna break.
No, yeah, no, but I definitely agree. This new headset looks pretty cool,
Yeah, I
but
like the design of it. It looks awesome.
we probably should move on here.
Yeah, we
yeah,
dove a little bit. We went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, moving back to Ubisoft's world though.
Yeah.
So there's a new Tom Clancy's game coming out.
Yeah, well, they announced two of them. First up is the
Oh
Division
yeah,
Heartland, which is apparently a free-to-play game and is expected to come out either later this year or next year. They don't have an exact date yet,
yeah.
but it is a standalone game and it takes a new perspective of the universe. They didn't really release
yeah.
a lot of details, and they said you
Mhm.
don't have to play the first two games at all
Right.
to be able to play this game. So that's kind of exciting. I love the Division's universe.
Gonna be a multiplayer game, probably. You think?
Maybe. I mean, the article we're talking about, like they could potentially get into a battle royale in the Division series,
Yeah,
or
That'd be cool.
or like a Valorant where there's different characters, or even Rainbow Six in a way, like a different
Mhm.
way of taking on like the world, because there's
yeah,
different factions and obviously of course, and the world is the shits.
Yeah,
But I really love the story and the premise of the Division
yeah,
personally.
for
The
sure.
yeah.
the
Just
the
the
post
gameplay is what's
apocalyptic, yeah.
bad.
It's not even the gameplay. The gameplay's there. It's the bullet sponge shit
Yeah,
Well,
that's not
yeah.
there.
What I mean is like the core gameplay. Like if you're
yeah,
playing PvP, the Division actually had a really good, cool idea. It was kind of like that throwback to RuneScape, where you either chose to be in a zone where there weren't players or a zone where there were players, and if
yeah,
you went where players were, into that PvP zone, it was no holds barred.
Yeah, way more high risk. Yeah, like super
high risk, high
adrenaline.
reward.
Yeah,
What area was that called in the division? Was it the
Dark Zone.
Dark
Dark
Zone?
Zone.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. And then like you can go to contaminated areas
Yeah.
and stuff like
So it
that.
could
Yeah.
definitely be like a Dark Zone style game, maybe. And I
Yeah.
think that would be interesting. Drop in, and you have to just hunt and peck for items in the divisions world. But
Yeah.
it could be
Un-
good.
unle-
It could be really bad.
Or like maybe this perspective, because survival games are huge right now. What if this is a new survival game, like a true survival game, and you gotta like
Yeah, because it is in a pandemic. Yeah,
Right,
so it's yeah.
Well,
and
I
it's
thought it was
post-apocalyptic.
post-pandemic.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's technically in a post-apocalyptic. Like the world
Right.
Yeah.
went to shit. So there's no
The
more.
apocalypse
martial
over.
law,
Now it's time to rebuild.
Yeah.
So now it's time to rebuild. So that'd be pretty cool to see if they find a way to
hell
like
yeah.
to actually scavenge for shit, like kind of like
Yeah.
that zombie game Microsoft Dead Labs don't blank on me. State of Decay. State of Decay is
Oh,
huge
okay.
with the
Yeah.
survival aspect. Like you actually have to
Yeah.
go out and get shit, but you're also building an actual community that matters. And like
Yeah.
when you die with that character out there, guess what? That motherfucker's going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
no longer be able to play with that.
And with it being that it's in the Midwest and stuff like that, the Heartland, I feel like, it's going to have that Red Dead aspect, like you guys are saying, like farming and stuff like that, getting your resources. And I think it'll be really, really immersive. I mean, I'm excited for it, honestly.
It has a lot of
especially since it's
potential.
free. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if
But-
it's free to play. That would be pretty cool because, like,
Yeah.
I could see this almost being like a Fallout 76 kind of game, Like, that game is like a multiplayer game. I can go shoot you, but you both
Yeah.
have to engage in conflict to actually
Yeah.
fight. But you can work together. You've got to survive and scavenge. Like, I could see
Yeah.
that kind of game.
I could see it, but I'm honestly gonna lean into it's a battle royale. I can almost guarantee it's gonna be. They said free. As soon as you say free, it's either mobile or battle royale at this point.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
Like,
take
let's
these.
be
I'm
good
gonna,
call.
I'm gonna write this down and see who's right when this does come back around. So Roger,
Battle
thinks it's
royale,
gonna
man.
battle royale. And
Better
me-
go ahead. And I'm like, you can go ahead.
No, what do you think, Meek?
I'm thinking like they're going to try to pertain obviously to the story, but it's going to be in like a resourceful type of Red Dead farming type of go out for your resources and do
So you
quests.
think it's gonna be a
and stuff like that,
survival game?
journeys. Yes.
Okay.
To
I'm
put
just gonna sum it up for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I got you. So me and you are on the same page, but it's 2-1. So we'll see what and who knows? We both might be wrong. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
right, yeah.
we just actually released the Division 3, and it's the same game we've been releasing. Here's your
Alternate
bullet sponge.
universe.
yeah, now it's in the Midwest now, guys. Now you're
We
now,
know you won't pay for it, so we made it free. Here's our cash shop.
yeah. Here's our cash app. Here's the battle pass for you guys.
But in addition to this game, they're also making another Division game for the mobile.
Yeah, mobile
Uh,
device. So this isn't. There's no details. They didn't release anything other than, hey
Yeah.
guys, we're making a mobile division game. All right, cool. I mean, they're just trying to get into the market. Why not?
Yeah.
The mobile.
No,
the mobile
everyone.
market's there.
If you're looking to make some money, the Chinese market is all about mobile, so you have to get to mobile
Hey,
if
now,
you
it's
want to
not
make
just
money.
Chinese. It's the Japan. It's the Asian market. Let's say
Yeah.
the continent,
Okay.
whatever
You
they want to
gotta-
be called.
yeah.
Asia market says we like mobile, and yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Look,
It's,
look,
it's
look,
all
look,
about the mobile.
Maybe you'll see it on Nintendo.
Right. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not. But I mean, talking about mobile. Look at Call of Duty Mobile. That game, it's crazy, crazy. It's free to play. It's making a lot of money,
I-
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Crazy.
Never even heard about it. That's the thing.
It's
Like
so
I don't even.
body
talk
though.
about it.
It's so body. Yo. Like,
It's so crazy. I hopped on there and like never died ever. I'm like, this is
They
crazy.
got like 60 kills. I'm just like, there's people like you can come up on somebody, they're just like turning. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I mean the touch
Like, this is
controls
not
is fun,
challenging.
but you can actually hook up a controller now. When they added controller support, that's when it really took off.
Yeah.
So I mean, nonetheless, I'll check it out. I love, like I said, I
Yeah.
love the Division game. And
Yeah,
like,
hell
I
yeah.
actually have a couple of the comic books that came out for the series. 'Cause
Let's try to play it together. Just bump the screen.
Yeah, we in there.
Right.
We in
Yeah,
there
we're gonna play that shit.
for sure.
but
But one more
Ubisoft has
Ubisoft.
another game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this. Skull and Bones.
So this is a game that
Me
was
neither.
announced like 4 years ago, right? 4 or 5 years. I don't
Okay.
know, maybe about 4 years ago. I'm gonna stay with that. And it's basically more or less like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's on that
Or
same
you mean
engine
li-
apparently. And no, it's
Okay.
legit like Black Flag where you're out because most of that game you're out on your boats.
So
going
you
from
mean
island to
like
island.
Sea of Thieves kind of game?
Yeah, well, Sea of Thieves
We're
came
making a
after
Sea
Black
of
Flag.
Thieves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, yeah, but Sea of Thieves is what really popularized that pirate thing after Black Flag did
Sea of
it.
Thieves
Right,
was dope.
exactly. Because when Sea of Thieves came out, Skull and Bones was announced right around that time frame, and we were like, and Sea of Thieves was announced first. We're like, boo. Like we already got Sea of Thieves. Why do we need
And
this
then they
game?
watched Sea of Thieves, and honestly, Sea of Thieves tanked.
Oh yeah, when it first came out,
super
yeah, I was
tank.
super upset. I was really excited for that game. Me and Al.
And
Al
there
was
was
super
nothing in
excited.
it.
There was
There's
nothing to do.
yeah.
Oh cool, I hop in a
And
boat.
even now, it's kind of really repetitive. There's really not much to do that isn't
Well,
repetition.
compared to when the game first came out, there's a
Oh, there's
lot
a
of
lot.
shit to do.
There's so much to do. Yeah, like treasure hunts and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I do agree there's some story stuff that's cool, but like for the most part, there wasn't enough content. The
Yeah.
game is just
It's not a
it's
game that you're
void
going to
of
play a lot.
players.
It's
It
one of those
feels
games.
void of
Yeah.
players. And also, it's just such a small party game. It's like 1, 2, or 4. That's it.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I
Yeah.
don't know what some of these games come up with, like the party sizes. Like Apex
Yeah.
only allowed like 2 and
And
3.
and Sea of Thieves, you're like, oh, I really would like to see a bunch of other players, and you never do. And then you're like, oh, I got all this loot, and there's like 10 players. You're like, where the fuck did you all come from?
Right, I haven't seen nobody for 10 hours, and I finally got all
Yeah.
this loot, and now
No, it
everybody's out
definitely
there.
the game definitely feels like honestly, Skull and Bones could be great
Mhm.
if they learned from like Sea of Thieves, for example, what they did wrong and right. But
Right.
I'll be honest, it's a Ubisoft game. It's probably going to sink like the ship everyone plays on.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I love the comparison there for sure.
Like honestly, I think it's gonna flop and it's gonna be riddled with cash shop items.
Yeah, yeah, more than likely, it'll be like, here, you can customize your ship looking like this today. All right, cool.
Ooh.
But some people, but look at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fortnite thrives off of that.
Well, but that's the thing. Fortnite has a reliable gameplay, whereas like
Yeah,
some of these games are like, look at our cash shop, it's awesome. Well, I would like to play it, but let's be honest, there's no real time to play with the stuff from
Yeah.
your cash shop.
yeah. Look at Watch Dogs Legion. That has a cash shop in there for what reasons? I don't give a fuck
Yeah,
what my
it's
operator
just
look like.
you. It's just you. They
Well,
canceled
no.
the multiplayer
Well, no, it's out there. It's still there. The co-op.
for console.
No, they brought it back to PC. It's out now.
Oh, okay, they did.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
it's just like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
They're coming out with that new update with the new character that can control people with their minds, and I don't know, it's getting kind of weird.
Yeah.
But let's move on here. Got a couple more topics here. We're gonna touch on the PlayStation here. Obviously, we talked about
They're
it a little
doing a
bit
redesign.
earlier. Yeah, they're making a redesign, but it's not the
I
outside.
thought no, it's the components. I think they're doing like a chip redesign from what I heard.
Yeah, and my guess is that it has something to do with the semiconductor shortage. I'm guessing that they're going with a
Well,
different
the
company
CPU
or whatever.
processor shortage in general. That's what we're dealing with. So I think they're trying to come up with a new reliable way of getting processors because the next thing is they're expecting shortages till 2022.
Yeah.
So they need to get ahead of this, I think, at this point. And I know they are,
Yeah, they're
but
trying.
like they need to redesign the inside so that they can actually get the production because they're seeing a supply chain shortage like we're going to see for the next year. There's going to be a lot.
I just want to know when this decision was made, right? Because
Yeah.
this console has been in obviously development for X amount of years, right? So like they make these parts to work really at high performance levels. Where if they go with this, together, so they get this new chip in there or new architecture of the like motherboard and stuff like that. Is it going to be just as good as what the OG PS5 is going to be?
It's probably not going to be. You're probably going to only get really good performance on the original one, and then this redesign's like, hey, we got PS5 back, but it's the new PS5, and it's going to be like, well, why does it play at 30 frames instead of 144?
Right, yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
There's more opportunity for trial and error.
I mean, I'm gonna skip a topic here on our list here is to give an example. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which comes out tomorrow, by the way, I can't wait to grab it. Right, it's going to be running at 120 frames on Xbox, while on PlayStation, PS5 specifically, is capped out at 60.
Yeah,
already. You like, and if this goes back onto if the chipset doesn't run as good, guess what? That game's not going to run at 60 either. It's going to barely run at 30. My thinking behind it, but I mean, I hope for the best for PlayStation for this to be a good thing, so they are able to produce more PS5s because people are dying to get PS5s. The demand's way up here,
but
and
the problem is, if you give them a shitty PS5, you're only going to ruin your market.
Yeah. So they're definitely in a tough situation.
I think PlayStation's definitely they're stuck in a corner right now, and they're like, well, the only way out of this corner is through the wall instead of just turning around and walking away.
Right.
Like they're staring at a corner, and they're like, let's just punch through the wall. What could go wrong?
Right. And the same thing here on the Sony thing is that I didn't put on the list is they just announced yesterday or last night they have 25 games in the works, and they're just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, why did you not put that in like your conference coming up, or like you just going to tweet it out like, hey guys, we got 25 games in the works? Like, that's not how you announce that. Look what Xbox does.
And great, we can't play it anyway because we don't have a console.
Right, you got all these games coming out. No one can play them anyway, but they're just trying to play catch up. They're like, oh, Xbox has fucking 60 games in the works. We gotta say we got something. We gotta say we have something, whether we got 25 in the works or not. We gotta make it sure we say something. But
talking about one of the Sony corners that went over to Microsoft now, Yakuza.
Yeah.
So I guess the Way of the Dragon or whatever actually sold well.
Yeah, Like a Dragon was probably one of the best games of last year too. That sold like critically and stuff like that.
And that's the crazy thing. Like, I love the Yakuza series. Like, I'm up to 4 or 5 now. Like 0, 1, 2, 3. I played a bunch of them, and I'm on to like one of the newer ones. And I saw the Way of the Dragon or whatever, and I was like, Like a Dragon. So I saw that, and it's a whole new cast and everything, and I'm like, what's going on? So I haven't beat 6, but I guess maybe they branched away from the main story, and now they've got this new story. Yeah.
So Like a Dragon,
I guess it makes sense.
They said Like a Dragon is a game that you can actually hop into the franchise and never played any of the games before it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm one of those people who can't go, all right, I'm gonna play 6 without playing 1 through 5. I can't do it. I just personally can't do it. It'll bother me. So I just started on 0, played in the first like hour or so. So it's been interesting. Apparently it's a long game. I was looking up on howlongtobeat.com, and that game takes like 100 hours to beat. So I'm like, oh boy.
0 or 1?
0.
0 doesn't take 100 hours to beat, but it depends on what y'all want to do with it. Because like you might get to the track car derby, and you could spend 20 hours playing with track cars with stock car racing.
It was great. Like the karaoke part of the game, that was interesting. Yeah. Like it was like playing Guitar Hero all over again. Like tap it. Right buttons.
And the song is so memorable too.
I don't remember it.
But no, I definitely am interested to see, now that I think they're leaving the original series and just doing this offshoot, I'm not upset that they're going to leave it as a turn-based RPG. And, it worked for Final Fantasy for years.
Yeah. I think it's just a way to try something different, because that franchise ran for, 6 games or 7 games technically. Before
7 games, 1 prequel, and
gotta shake it up every now and then.
Yeah,
no, exactly.
Otherwise, it gets old, and you're just like, all right, cool, I'm tired. Like, can we get something new?
Yeah.
So, like, that's what they did, and it did extremely well. Why not do it again? Build off.
No, I agree. But talking about games that gone on too long.
I want to ask Miko. Like, Miko, have you ever played any of the Yakuza games at all?
Yakuza, no, I've never played that, but I definitely can see it. Probably has like, you remember what that Jet Li game that was released way back when? I forget what that Jet Li game was called, but it was kind of.
They remember it. That was like.
It was kind of like it was kind of like a storyline type of thing with like a lot of action fighting, but I nonetheless I do understand that Yakuza has a crazy storyline, but
it's goofy. It prides itself on just being over the top.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. But now I never played it, but I definitely want to probably look into like watching a gameplay or something like that. Yeah, just watching a storyline just for the story.
It really, like, even playing 0, man. Like I said, I was beating people up, and then I'm walking down the street, and he was like, "Let's go to the bar." We go to the bar. Next thing you know, I'm fucking singing karaoke in the bar, and you actually gotta press like each button for like different notes and stuff like that. And
that's cool shit.
And you're getting
like, and then you can also go to the batting cages, start playing just do baseball for like an hour. Yeah. I caught myself. I'm like sitting there in the batting cage. I'm like, this isn't even the game. What am I doing?
Is it like more of a condensed GTA?
Yeah, it's GTA without cars, essentially.
Yeah.
And guns. You just well, actually, there are guns, and like the game gets really bad in the middle of the franchise because they're like, you can't win without guns, but it's like you're supposed to punch people.
Right. Yeah.
But no, the comic relief. Like one of my favorite moments is you're like walking around the city and you're trying to hide from somebody who's actively like every time you're walking through the city, you'll start hearing like danger music. All of a sudden, you're like, where the fuck is he? Because he's hunting you. And I've had him jump out of trash cans, been like, let's fight. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, that game is definitely all over the place, and it prides itself on that though, for being that kind of game.
Honestly, Like a Dragon looked like it prides itself on let's go over the top even more.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But let's definitely move on. Got a couple more, two more topics here. We talked a little bit about Battlefield 6 and the rumors and stuff, but this is not a rumor. This is confirmed. It is coming to last gen consoles as well as next gen. Meek, what's your take on this though? Do you think it'll hold the game back at all?
No, not necessarily, because there's a lot of society that still hasn't peaked into next gen yet, just because of scarcity reasons. I definitely I feel like they see the market in that. There's still a lot of people that are left behind. But nonetheless, yeah, I think it'll be great all in all. This Battlefield 6, it'll give more people opportunity to play, and I think I got high expectations for them, honestly, because I liked a lot of their previous games. They only had they very rarely have duds. You know what I'm saying?
Battlefield 5.
Yeah, Hardline.
No,
You like Hardline?
I liked Hardline, but I can see what you're talking about. It was definitely it was out there. It was different. Cops and Robbers versus War.
Yeah,
but it was made by different studios too. You got to think about that. Battlefield Hardline was Visceral Studios, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't made by DICE.
But and I'm gonna say counterpoint here, because if you're gonna focus time into making it, for previous gen as well as next gen, you're really limiting yourself in what your engine can really do. Like, Battlefield's always prided themselves on being the cleanest, the newest, the beefiest game they can make.
Yeah.
And they're just like, but let's dumb down the engine so that these guys can play. And I get it. You want to expand your market. But if you make a clean, crisp game, you can keep that shit at $60-$70 for years, and people will buy it every time they start upgrading to next gen.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely would create that longevity. I didn't see that.
But I think making it for last gen and next gen, I think you're limiting your hardware. You're limiting your software and your engine.
But according to the article too, is they're actually going to be enhancing the power that you do get from next gen. So there will be a next gen update, more or less. You know what I mean? So it's gonna push that. The engine there, but I get what you mean. It's not going to be 100% fully powered, developed through that engine.
That's the thing. It's console. It's a Band-Aid, really. It feels like.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, with next, exactly. Especially with next gen, thus going through so much trial and error right now with all the with some of the games that are coming out, they constantly need updates as soon as they come out. So it's just maybe they're just prepping for a later storm,
right? And they want to be able to get into the market. Like Battlefield already struggles to sell the past couple of years. Like they want to still be able to reach out to that market. And most of the gaming market is still on last gen. Like Miko was saying.
Yeah, I get you, but if they're gonna make that game, I feel like it's gonna flop again, because it's not gonna be there. You're gonna get clipping issues, because there were always issues in Battlefield 5.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For the optimism of the gaming experience, they definitely should have looked to just specify on next gen. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think we won't see a true next gen Battlefield until their next iteration, obviously.
And that's going to be years, 4 years, 5 years.
Not unless they want to get back in that cycle of doing a yearly update.
Yeah.
To compete with Call of Duty, because I actually think, sticking along the lines of last gen, next gen, I think Call of Duty's next game, whatever it's going to be, is going to be on both generations. There's no doubt about it. And this is a rumor that actually just broke today. Well, not a rumor, but I guess it's a rumor. Is Sledgehammer Games is apparently struggling with a multiplayer with their development. So apparently they're.
Oh, shit.
I hate to hear that. Hate to say this, but they're remastering Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. I was like, all right, cool. I love that game, but do I want to go back to play that as the main multiplayer game? I mean, I don't really play a lot of multiplayer now. Cold War sucks.
That kind of gets me.
It gets you mixed feelings,
really
right?
excited. Yeah, no, I really fuck with that. But yeah, as a main, as you're saying, I definitely feel that wouldn't be something I want to lock in on. But it definitely would be euphoric. Nonetheless, I fucking love Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, the game chat was toxic. But I mean, but thinking about it, right? When Modern Warfare 1, the OG game was remastered multiplayer was back in when Call of Duty Infinite Warfare came out. That game had the campaign and its multiplayer, but guess what? You get this campaign in multiplayer as well. So like at least you got to choose and you can dabble in Modern Warfare. Like all right, cool, nostalgia, yay, back to Infinite Warfare, back into the normal cycle. Which I enjoyed Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. At least campaign trash. But multiplayer, I mean, that was probably the best jumping around game because Advanced Warfare to me was god awful, and all the Black Ops.
I loved Advanced Warfare. I fucking loved Advanced Warfare.
To me, it's the worst Call of Duty ever made, by far.
I was so sweating that shit. It wasn't even funny. Like I love that game.
And that game was also like a pay to win game because they had the variants of each gun.
Those variants.
Boxes.
I forget what they were called too. They were the ASM one was dirty. The BAL had dirty variants. Right. I love that game though.
Yeah, so it had an interesting concept, but taking Call of Duty to the jetpack jumping around.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Should have never been a thing. Yeah, we haven't experienced it in real time yet. We should not experience it in Call of Duty. They should not be going off on a limb before society does.
Right. You know? Let Titanfall.
I mean, they are testing, as per Alex Ferland. They are testing exosuits though at his base. That was an interesting story he had for me. Yeah, they're actually testing exosuits, so it's actually a thing. We can probably get more into that next week if you guys are down.
No, yeah, definitely could throw that onto the topic for sure. One more gaming topic, Roger. I know you're big into this. I unfortunately did not watch the trailer, but I wanted to make sure we add this on.
You're good.
Itinerary, so you can talk all about this one here.
Well, all it is they just did the new trailer for Warhammer, Total War Warhammer 3, which is the next iteration in the Total War series. They kind of really are focusing on Warhammer lately.
Yeah, they sure. I feel like we're talking about a new game like every other week.
Yeah, it feels like it. So Warhammer is branching out and making a lot of games. Like there should be like 4 or 5 games this year alone from Games Workshop. So this being one of their biggest games, which is the Total War one, the trailer is really cool, and it for a lot of people they're really excited. Like I know some of my friends are excited for the whole army that their cavalry units are polar bears. They're riding on top of polar bears.
Oh shit!
So like it's going to be a pretty cool game. In my opinion, I'm really excited for the setting because it really changes up. The last few settings have kind of felt stale to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'll be interesting, and it kind of focuses in on the new faction they're bringing back in from old Warhammer.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've just never been in any involved in any of the Warhammer, whether it's tabletop or any of the games, honestly. And it's crazy to think.
And it's a war game. Yeah, and a lot of people aren't really into the turn-based or tabletop slow-paced strategy games.
Yeah, I mean, me, even when I come over for D&D nights, I'm there like once every 6 months because I don't know, I just never really been into it, but I'm definitely excited to get back into it whenever you start hosting them again.
Mm-hmm. But moving on to world news though.
Yeah, I think we should start here with the one that's kind of a little bit past, but I just wanted to cover it a little bit. Was the uncontrollable rocket that China lost control of? How or why does this kind of stuff happen? How?
China is pretty low regulation on do whatever the fuck you want unless you're bad mouthing the government. It's like as long as the government's as long as you don't go after the government, and because we said this right here. People will get in trouble for watching us in China at this point.
Right.
If you say anything bad about Chinese government, you're in trouble. But fuck, dude, we mishandled a disease, a deadly disease. So now we have a global pandemic. We mishandled a rocket. We lied about stuff. It's one after another. And honestly, when I heard that China launched a rocket and this happened, I was like, of course it did. Why wouldn't? Why would it have not happened? I've been surprised if we launched a rocket and there were 0 issues. Everyone lived.
Right.
But
go ahead, Miko. I was going to ask a question anyway. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was going to say, I was looking into that story, and it's just it seems like it's a very common occurrence with spacecraft. Nonetheless, when they're coming in and when they're going out and stuff like that, they kind of project and plan for the debris to fall in that specific part of the Pacific Ocean. So I mean, it's kind of just America's just being like, Well, you,
Well, the
there's
thing
something
is,
wrong with your shit. We could have did it better.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
my
because we have
follow
two
up though
space
is,
programs that do it
yeah.
every day without any problems.
Well,
Yeah,
hell, we're even landing our shit back on barges in the water, floating there, so that we can recover
And
them,
reuse
and
it.
not pollute the world.
And
Yeah.
Like,
reuse
at the
it.
same, yeah, exactly. But like, whereas China, they're just like, it's supposed to land in the ocean, and we're looking at the landing trajectory. It could have landed anywhere in like,
yeah, where
from
you could
New
recover the
York
debris
to
and shit.
Right. When I when
Yeah.
I heard
to
it,
Texas to California. It like
Oh, yeah,
you
okay,
could see
yeah,
the curve, and you're like, wow, it could land anywhere.
anywhere.
We don't
yeah,
know.
All I know
yeah.
is they were like, it might land in Philly, and I was like, fuck.
Oh,
If
I
that
didn't
lands,
see shit like that. I
yeah,
thought it
Yeah,
was always
no,
speculated that I was going to land in the sea. I didn't think.
no,
Oh
that
wow,
it's
that
that's
supposed to land
fucked.
in the
that's
ocean.
why this
That's
became
fucked.
bigger than what it was because they did not know where it was going to land. They had no idea. They had the projected was
Yeah,
off the charts, so it could have landed anywhere on Earth. But they said it could have landed anywhere from like Texas to the somewhere
Wow.
out there, and I
yeah.
was like, damn. Like and I heard it was like it was and I had a high probability of landing in Philly, but apparently it caught like a certain like draft or I don't know
Yes,
how that stuff
and it blew it off course.
yeah, it blew it off course. So like thankfully it did not land in Philly because if that
Yeah.
happened, guess what? We'd be in World War III. Because
Thankfully, it
that
didn't land in my backyard.
yeah,
Yes, you're
because
absolutely
that would have been
right.
devastating.
Yeah,
That would have been
and like,
devastating.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
if it was, and let's be honest here, if it was Trump in power, he'd be like, "We're gonna make friends with China. Shit happens. It was a democratic place anyway. Who cares?" Like, but like, yeah, no, it's
I didn't.
definitely like,
Yeah.
holy shit. What
Jeez.
would have been the like? How would you
Yeah,
have
because that
even
thing was
dealt with
like
that? Like,
25 tons or something like that,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
it's
No,
insane.
it was like
It was the
20,000
single.
tons.
Oh my
It is,
god.
yeah, it is the single largest object to hit the Earth in the past 30 years,
I read that.
where it could have just hit the land
Yeah,
instead of water. Like,
Jesus
yeah, space
Christ.
programs they've all landed in water
yeah,
or burnt
thankfully.
up, but
Which
this,
most of that stuff actually did burn up, luckily, but there was still a large chunk that landed into
Yeah.
the
yeah,
ocean.
yeah, and so it could have like collapsed, like, and crushed a bunch of people and killed people.
Oh,
I
if
mean,
it
does
would
that have shit? I mean, does that type of flaw have something to say about the rush of China to do this? Like, I mean, because that
it
could
just
that
shows that
like,
they're outdated programs with because I
Well,
feel like they
oh, I
haven't
don't know.
advanced.
China's not
Pretty
outdated. That's the
fucking
thing. They're beating
advanced.
us in a
Yeah,
lot of
I was
technology.
gonna
The issue
say.
at
Right.
hand is
Their
it's
space
it's
is where
it's
at.
their own technology race. Let's be honest. Everyone is racing Japan and America right now in
Right.
technology. Japan's winning for the most part, but
Japan
now
is
China is
fucking
overtaking
insane.
us. Like, they have 5G, and so all we have now is smear campaigns about how 5G is going to turn you, how it's going to sterilize people and turn the
Five
frogs gay. But like,
five G
I'm just
remember
uh,
5G started the
yeah,
coronavirus. Remember?
yeah. 5G is the coronavirus. So, but that's the thing. Like,
It's like, do people not know that like mass big corporation companies like this have to go through so much approving and regulation
and
before
that's
they
the
can
thing.
release something like this? Like, there's no
China, on the
way
other
that it's
hand,
giving you
yeah,
cancer. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah.
relax.
Like, China is a little more relaxed on their stuff because they don't care. That's the thing. China's like, their natural population of animals wiped out. Their resources wiped out. Covered in trash, littered. People are dying. Diseases everywhere. Hell,
Jeez.
they still shit in holes in the ground. They don't actually have sewer systems in a lot of their locations.
Mhm.
But then they have a space program, and you expect it to serve. You expect it to actually work.
Wow.
Like,
Right.
yeah, China is the most third world, first world country because most of
That's
China is third world still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard to fucking say half the time. We're almost right neck and neck with them.
Yeah, and it's surprising, at times we're like, wow, we're so behind, but then look at China. And I honestly, this rocket thing, I was like, yeah, I expected this.
Right. I mean, yeah, the same sense, but I was just like, this can't happen again. This has to be
Yeah,
prevented.
absolutely not.
Like there has to
Yeah.
be like a
Little
I
shit
don't-
like this just adds to the fire. That's just gonna.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I almost
If,
feel like
if
this
it would have
is-
landed, it would have went from China flu to China, the rise of communist China trying to kill everyone now.
Yeah.
China's attacking the U.S.
Yeah, that like I said, it would have definitely started World War III if that would have
Yeah,
happened.
the QAnon. Yeah, it would have went wild.
But my thing is like there has to be some kind of regulations that are in place, not just through China's government, but like by the United Nations.
UN.
Like
Yeah,
they have
International
to
Space
implement
Station.
something.
But
Yeah,
the
they got
UN
to.
is a joke. The UN has no power. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Russia is on the Human Rights Council for the UN. and they execute LGBTQ people.
Yeah, that's awful.
Like, how are you on a human rights council and you're murdering people?
Yep.
You're poisoning your political opponents.
It
But we
comes
are on the
down.
Human Rights Council.
Yes,
Comes
sir.
down
You're
to
absolutely
money.
right, Vic. You're
It comes
absolutely
down to
right.
money. Money talks. Hey, I'm gonna be on this council.
Business.
Here's some money. Just shut the fuck up
Putin
about what
drops
we
his
do.
dick on
Oh yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah, he definitely walks in the room and was just like,
You just see it, just
Here's a
drop
stack
this.
of pens. Move on.
yeah, that's definitely
Fucking-
how that goes. But
Yep.
let's move on to something that actually is impacting our country significantly so far, and that hopefully gets controlled relatively quick. The hacker group Dark Side, that's a hell of a name. Hacked the I forget the name of the pipeline. Fill me in, guys. You guys remember the name off the top of your head?
Dark side. Yeah.
No, the
What?
pipeline that they hacked.
Oh.
I can't think of the name.
Oh no, I don't remember the
Yeah,
pipeline.
okay, whatever. So they hacked the pipeline that controls the gas up and down the East Coast. So and they took control of it and they held it up for ransom. And they actually they went on to actually apologize. They didn't mean to cause a disservice to like public services. They do
Colonial
shit for money.
Pipeline paid $5 million in the ransom.
Yeah, so that's crazy. Actually, I didn't know they ended up paying for it. That's crazy. So basically, what this causes gas shortages across the East Coast. Pretty much, it's majorly in the Southeast. Luckily, it's not going to get to us. Hopefully.
And the crazy thing to me is, the skeptic in me says, well, who paid? Because this hacker group gets paid by people. Who paid them to do this? Because like I feel like this could be big business trying to skyrocket oil and gas again because they need money because renewable energy is on the rise. It's coming for them and it's coming fast.
Mhm.
And let's be honest here. Creating fake shortages like we did with gas shortages, as I've talked about before. I've told you that we never had gas shortages. People just create artificial shortages. So is this an artificial shortage?
Right. Because you're telling me all the gas that just sits there in those tanks, in every state, can't be used. Can't be used as a. You're telling me our infrastructure as a country is that fragile?
Yeah.
That shows you how third world that we can be in an instance.
And that's why infrastructure bill is so huge in the United States, but Republicans are still fighting it. Yeah. They're like, we don't care about infrastructure, childcare, anything like that. Amazon needs another pay cut, another tax cut.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So we just want to get businesses back on shore.
Yeah.
And then they go around and lie about it. Like they paid for a center in it was either Ohio or something, like this multi-billion-dollar, $1 million business center, and it's empty. No one's there because they're like, oh, it's cheaper to go abroad with businesses. So taxpayers subsidize shit to bring it here, and then the businesses just build empty buildings and then take it across seas.
It's insane. The proof is clear in the pudding. I'll reference back when I was in Houston. I was in a Skyrise Airbnb. My apartment was fully lit up, and buildings around me, corporate buildings, fully lit up, not vacant.
Yeah.
There's nobody working in buildings right now. It's a pandemic. They were fully lit up, and there was condominiums across the street without power.
Yep.
Without power, nothing. Families freezing, people dying.
Yep.
It's insane. Red state. Where is the money going? Who fucking knows?
Well,
business. Well, we know where the money's going. It's in the pockets of millionaires. It's million and billionaires and corporate investment. That's all it is. It's like the only thing, as I've said before, in trickle down, the only thing that trickles down is the urine on my head. I'm getting pissed on. Somebody's pissing on me, and it's trickling down.
No, yeah, for sure. But me referencing your part though in Texas is all that. The electric and shit is all outsourced. It's privately owned. It's not run through the government, so it's not regulated. It's not controlled, so they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah,
they decide who gets the power.
I mean, nonetheless, it's not regulated by the government, but nonetheless, the state is ran by red, and there's mad Republicans regulating that shit. So obviously,
well, no, there's no regulation.
Yeah, that's what I would have meant. There's Republicans running that shit. Yeah, that's what I mean.
But, so they're not doing anything about it to fix the issue. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so it just goes to show.
To stick on this gas incident, though, apparently the government passed, I don't know if it's a bill or whatever, that the the companies who produce the oil and the gas and stuff like that, to speed up the process to get the gas back out, they're not adding the certain stuff, the ingredients to make it eco-friendly apparently, so that they're
Hey.
so now we're, after saving the ozone after a year, we're about to fuck it all back up really quick with the gas that we're
Shoot
about to
that
use.
shit right back in there. But remember, let's be honest here. Vehicles and gas burning isn't the issue. The United States is doing really well. China makes more greenhouse gas emissions than every other country combined right now.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
They're archaic, to say the least. Completely archaic.
Sure. But yeah, it definitely just sucks to see. And then, like, I honestly, the best part of this, you always gotta laugh at, is the memes. The memes that come out of everything is great. Like, literally, like, when someone posted a picture of the red gas can, they're like, "All right, who wants this? I'm offering it for like 50 acres of land and like something else like that." He was like, "Come on, guys, you guys know the worth." Like, come on,
No
lowballing me here. Like, that's great. Or like,
well, like for me, it's like my favorite is just the guy whose Hummer went up because he's driving a Hummer, fills it with like 6 cans of gas in the back because Hummers alone take, it's too much gas, and then he lights a cigarette inside and burns the whole car. And I'm like, natural selection sometimes does come through for us. It's like, I'm sorry, but you were an idiot. You drive that gas guzzler, so then you're a victim of this gas shortage, and then why'd you light a cigarette with gas fumes in your car?
Yeah, it's all around. But like you said, like, he had gas cans in the car. That's another thing, that people were going out hoarding gas when there's a gas shortage. Like, oh,
I told you, artificial. It's I'm on the fence. I'm like, call me QAnon here, but like, I think somebody is artificially trying to inflate gas prices.
No, not that's not.
And guess what? It's
an
almost summertime,
astronomical thought
guys.
at the least, at all. Like, gas is immense. Like, we have so much gas, and they make up those prices, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah, I've mentioned this last
told
week
me that because my best friend Steven, Vic knows him. He tells me this all the time. Like, that shit is just a fucking facade.
Yeah, it's all made up. There is no supply and demand. If there is too much supply, there is not enough demand, and they're like,
well, demand that's been every year. Like, the demand.
So you need to make artificial scarcity so that the supply isn't there anymore. You have to somehow fake your supply.
Yeah, because right now in the United States Reserve for gas, we have over like 100 years worth of gas just sitting there, doing nothing.
Gas doesn't fucking disintegrate.
Why do we still need to mine it? Because they're jobs. I'm like, no, like, and we need to move away from this shit anyway.
Well, the idea is to never use your own reserves. Yeah. That's the whole idea. So of course we're going to keep purchasing everybody else's stuff, because guess what? Once them shits dry up, guess who's going to be coming looking for gas? Everybody else is going to be coming to us, and then we're going to be in control. Yeah. Yeah, then exactly. It comes down to money.
We'll be China.
Got money guns going on here. Then I need to get myself a money gun to shoot money off here. Whenever we just talk about money. But no, talking about World War III, though.
Yeah.
And everyone else's supply drying up, Middle East, Israel versus Palestine.
Oh my!
They did it again this week, guys.
It's legit not funny. Like, it's funny to see this shit, but like, it's not, because watching these videos, like real life people recording
these people
they're recording the bombs, and they're like, oh shit,
the Iron Dome.
The Iron Dome had to go off, and like.
Let me tell you, I have a close friend of mine I went to college with. I played basketball with him at Westchester, Matt Pennick. I was just on the phone with him this morning. He's in Israel right now. He got dual citizenship. He got a contract out there. He's been playing basketball. He's in I forget what city he's in, but he's about 30 minutes from Jerusalem, and where everything's going on, and he hears sirens like every couple hours. He has the room in the basement, so like everybody goes down there to take shelter for a little bit and stuff like that.
And the crazy thing is,
fuck, bro.
To be honest, Israel's the one starting all this too. And let's be honest, it's like, here's an analogy that I really like to equate it. Israel's like an 18-year-old brother, and Palestine's like a 6-year-old little brother. Yeah. And the 18-year-old brother just goes over and punches his little brother. Yeah. What's the little kid gonna do?
Yeah, but
so he just like goes to fight back, and his brother grabs his fist. That's Israel shooting its missiles, destroying the Gaza Strip, killing these Palestinian people, and then they're like, Palestine attacks, retaliates.
I got insight though from
Yeah.
people of Israel. When they make those attacks, people of Gaza, like mafias and gangsters and stuff like that that are doing illegal things and stuff like that, post their shops next to these places for those headliners. So when they get bombed, because they do
Yeah.
knockoffs, so they go around knocking
Yeah.
on the doors and stuff like that, having people evacuate before these bombings happen. But nonetheless, these shelters and their fronts are next to schools and hospitals, and so when these bombings happen, the headlines are these hospitals, these schools were blown up. So at the end of the day, a lot of the public can, but Israel
Yeah.
is not a fucking, they're not innocent by
No,
any means.
I,
They've done
and that's
terrible
the thing.
things.
Like,
But at the same time, Palestine has a lot of weird shit going on over there.
but the follow up here is, yeah, I get you have insight there, but that's also biased insight. That is a guy with dual citizenship to Israel, and Israel is literally a country.
No, it's not coming from directly from him. He's not. He doesn't take any side. It's just a matter of him acquiring information. I'm not taking any side either because I don't fucking live there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. And so, but my stance here is, this land has been owned by these people for thousands of years. Okay, like the Jerusalem, like the Jewish people being exiled from Egypt or whatever, and so that happens before 0 BC. Okay, that is a long time ago, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. We're talking like really old stuff. These people got exiled, this is their holy land, whatever, and they lost their holy land.
Yeah.
We only just gave them that after World War II, and we just propped it up and we just put a Western civilization in the middle of Muslim land. Like literally, there is no other like Western nation or like Christian or Jewish religious belief there. It is Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. It is all just Muslim the whole way around. So you're literally just injecting religious turmoil. And then they're saying, this is owned by Israel now. And they're like, no, this is our land. And they're like, no, Israel owns this now. And so that's what the Gaza Strip is. There were people, just innocent people living there. And they're the ones who are falling victim. Yeah, there's a lot of violence and gangs and other stuff there, but the issue is they're just taking advantage of the issue that's already going to happen, whether they're there or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're creating that aspect of
Yeah. And Israel could be the bigger man here, but the issue at hand is they're bombing the shit out of them, and Palestine can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Israel has a missile defense system, like an amazing missile defense system. Nothing's going to hit the ground.
90% success rate. Yeah, but my friend said he said there was still a missile that landed way in his because he has a way open field in his backyard. It landed somewhere in the midst, but nonetheless, it's insane. Yeah, he's been sending me videos constantly. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can definitely never imagine that shit. And like last week, I had this past Sunday I had Pesh on my talk show, and he's from Kurdistan, which is over there in the Middle East as well. And like he said, like in his episode, like he was born over there in an ambulance and stuff, like not even a hospital, just because it's just it's so third world honestly there. But it's just like he said that his parents had enough. Like he living your everyday life having to worry about bombs and alarms and shootings and it's just awful. And it's just thinking about like people come here to America because they're trying to escape that shit, but then they come here and then they got to deal with all kind of other issues and racism and being socially profiled and targeted because of 9/11. And at that point, because like it's just all around bad. Like this world, that area right now is so it's fucking up even the innocent people. And to me that's the worst part. At all, and, all the innocent people that's over there.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that land is just so unusable, and that's the other thing. Mm-hmm. Like this is land that like we gave Israel and Jerusalem, but then we gave them all the good land on the Mediterranean. Yes, Syria owns land to the north of them, but it's just we injected the turmoil. Yeah, it was to make amends to the Jewish people, but
it's definitely going to be something that we're going to be seeing past our lifetime. This is something that's going to go for a while.
Yeah, and not only that, Israel has the ability to do whatever the fuck they want because guess who backs them?
We do.
us? You're gonna fight me? You're gonna fight America? And it's like,
we can use that whole brother analogy again. Like, all right, cool. He's our little brother over there fucking shit up, and Big Brother got their back. That's really what it is. Like, all right,
it's cool, like going to a bar and trying to pick a fight with another with a girl, and all of a sudden her boyfriend shows up and he's got tats down both sleeves and shaved head, and he's like, all right, you fucking with my girl, and you're like, guess I'm dead.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out, man.
No,
and what's not I'm worried about personally. Me and you talked about this before, is us pulling out all of our troops from that area. I don't know, like, because you think it's a bad thing over there. I think we kind of help, but again, we're over there ingesting Western civilization. We're trying to throw democracy into an area, a republic democracy into an area that really never works with. It just never. Well, they're run by dictatorship over there. That's really what that is.
The other issue is it's also tribal. You have these groups. It's. I'm not saying their tribal is in, like, Native American tribe. I'm saying they're, you have a village. You have a village, and villages are their own group, and then there are greater village areas, like partnerships between villages. It's not. They don't really think of themselves as a country for the most part. They have their communities. And we're just like, you're a country. This is your country. And then like, no. You've got all these roving bands of groups, like, all of these terrorist groups that we're trying to deal with. And we have prior knowledge, but we don't act upon it. And then we cause issues. And then we bred terrorist groups there. We literally have prior knowledge on terrorist groups, and we help breed them.
Yep. Look at ISIS. We created ISIS.
Yeah, we created that. Like, that was our job. Like, and then we give guns and stuff and power. Like, we go, okay, democracy doesn't work. So then we back dictatorships and authoritarian regimes.
Yeah, because
to do the work for us.
Right, because honestly, we hope that one takes over the other, so then all of this can stop. Because eventually, wars should end realistically. I mean, but some wars in history have proven the last fucking 400 or 500 years.
And that's the thing. And we're dealing with the perpetual struggle between technically they're three Islamic factions, really, but two major factions are feuding, and why are we getting in the middle of it as a Western civilization?
Like,
honestly, if we exactly, 9/11 is the excuse. But let's be honest here. Mission accomplished. They flew a flag. Mission accomplished in year 1. Why were we still there?
Yeah, we killed everybody that was on our list. We killed everybody.
And you know why we're there? Money.
Money. Exactly.
The military-industrial
generates
complex.
Money.
Exactly. The military-industrial complex, we spend so many tax dollars. If we even cut a little bit of it, we could offer childcare for the entire United States.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Insane.
But I think we got a couple more topics.
I broke my tail. Let me run and go to the bathroom real quick. You guys
you got to break the seal, all that wine.
Yeah, but Google now is planning to automatically enroll users in two-factor authentication.
Yeah, I like this idea. Yeah, this is smart because obviously going back to an earlier topic here, being hacked, this will beef up security. I mean, obviously it's corporate versus individuals and stuff, but having that two-factor authentication, like I was actually at work today talking about this because like someone was trying to sign in, they're like, man, I gotta do this, like gotta wait for a code. I'm like, yeah, it's for your safety and your security.
Yeah.
I was like, even when I would give an example because we're finally on Apple Podcasts now. And when I sign an Apple Podcast, I have to do a two-factor authentication every single time I log into that account. Yeah. Every single time. And then, it goes, I gotta go get this new code and type it in and stuff like that.
But the idea is it's something you know and something you have.
It's random every single time.
Well, no. What I mean is something you have is a device that gets that code. Oh, so it's something you know, username, password, and something you have. That means, like, something you know, anyone can know, but something you have, only you can have.
Right.
So that's the idea.
No,
yeah.
Two-factor authentication is definitely huge, and I think everybody should have it.
Yeah.
Until 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And
welcome back.
I'm back,
my friend.
Yeah, and like fingerprint is like this is two-factor authentication in itself to get into your phone. You have the phone and you have the fingerprint.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're getting into this. So it's two-factor secured by two factors.
Yeah,
exactly. I was gonna say I was waiting to get into this topic because it's just like my boy Shizzy Mac. Shout out to my guy Shizzy Mac. But he had experienced a problem a couple months ago where he got his Facebook hacked because he didn't have his two-factor authentication set up yet. Yeah, it's like it locks your shit up. Nonetheless, it's annoying as fuck. You know, you always gotta have your phone with you or whatever second resource you guys have set up. But nonetheless, it's important to have that shit if you guys want to keep your account safe.
I mean, like, branching back to our, the core of our podcast, gaming, I've been hacked on WoW before. Some dude cleaned my character out on World of Warcraft.
Jesus Christ.
This is before two-factor authentication.
God.
But I've been on WoW. Jordan on her League of Legends. If we didn't have two-factor authentication, we lose everything.
I can imagine World of Warcraft too. That's a really item-based game. Like
I put all of my time into it, and some dude's just like, let me drain all of your content.
Say, you put in like 1,000 hours, and you got all this in-game currency, all those items that you work so hard for. Guess what? You don't got them no more.
Yeah, because there's a mail system that's like, oh, you can send anything to anyone.
As long as it didn't spellbind or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, soulbound. Yeah.
Soulbound.
And so it's exactly right. So I think Google planning to enroll people off the bat, I think it's the correct thing to do because it says, hey, you need to do this. Like,
oh yeah, it's like in my line of work, I get so many boomers coming in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
I don't want to do it. Like, why do I have to do this? It's just like, like nowadays, there's a template for like how fast hackers can hack your shit. Like, if you have a 6 to 8 digit just alphabetic, they can hack your shit in 2 hours. If you have alphanumeric, 6 to 8 characters, it's like 2 to 3 days. Like the options go on and on as much as you keep locking and locking your accounts. Like
when you get to 16 characters, which is where we're at for my job.
Yeah.
Not mentioning that we also have Windows Hello, which is biometrics on our PCs.
Right.
But like I had to roll this out to all of our users. But if you had 16 characters with the lockout timer and brute forcing, it would take the heat death of the universe to get through your password.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like 16 characters. Yeah,
I couldn't imagine having a 16 character password.
Yeah, you're golden. Alphanumeric, you're golden.
And we remove complexity, and all you do is a passphrase.
Yeah.
The quick brown fox. There's your password. 16 characters.
Hey.
But you look for things that aren't, easily guessable, like, apple pie, French toast. You can think about things like that, and there you go. Easy password, easy to type out. It's a phrase. It's not like Q7BY equals plus 17.
It's great because you have an iPhone. You ever like go to create a new password? It says suggest strong password, and it's like 37 characters of randomness. You're like, not happening.
No, I don't want to leave that much liability to my fucking phone. Absolutely not.
Because if you don't remember that password, you're not going to remember it. So it locks it into it locks it into
you're
that
gonna have to
keychain.
hit remember or Face ID every time, and then if you lose your phone, you're fucked. You're kind of fucked. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could reset the password, but
no, like it's like you can go through so much troubleshooting and shit like that, but it just makes it that much more of a bitch if you make it something that you're not familiar with.
And then the future with two-factor authentication, it gets to the point where you don't need to type in a username password. Microsoft offers two-factor authentication now because you have an email address, something you know, and you have the phone, something you have. So now I just get a notification says you're trying to sign in, and I go yes or no. And I only can get it on this phone. So you have to know whose phone this is, steal their phone, then try to access Microsoft without them knowing you stole their phone. Because as soon as your phone's stolen, you're like, deactivate.
It's interesting that they're creating these better security measures, but then at the same time, it correlates with needing a device. Absolutely, like you need to keep track of your device. You need to have a smartphone. Like you need, like they're building the world of technology as we know it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where people talk about getting an RFID chip in your arm. People have already done it, and like I get the use for it, and it's valuable. But at the same time, it's like at some point in the digital age, you have to ascend to the digital age. You have to have something that is essentially this is like a passport. This is my passport essentially to who I am.
I mean, metaphorically and realistically, because the passport you can actually have legitimately a digital passport now. You don't gotta have to have the book.
Exactly. We're putting our brains so much on these things. It's great. That's another topic, bro.
Yeah.
But for sure.
So I think it's a great move forward for Google. And I think being the pioneers of technology, a lot of times, I think Google's doing the right thing.
And think about it. You get onto a new website, new social media. What are one of the options to sign in with?
Sign in with Google.
Sign in with Google, just like Apple and sometimes obviously Facebook, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you can sign with Facebook on everything.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea.
Well,
But,
now that it's going to be a paid service,
maybe I don't see that happening now. Hopefully not.
they already talked about it. They're like, hey, if you stop, did you see the number of people who actually in the new iOS update enrolled in the yes, you can collect my data?
Yeah,
it was like 1% of all people signed up after the new update.
Nice. Epic.
Only 1% of users on iOS signed up for the yes, you can collect my data.
Oh boy.
So Facebook's just like, we lost all of our revenue on iOS.
Oh yeah. Yeah, iOS. Apple's really smart with their safety and security, man. Like they really are fucking up with a lot of companies. Like you're not tracking nobody no more unless they give you
legitimate permission. I really fuck with Apple in that aspect, but just in the aspect of their marketing with their devices and their price tags, they need to really work on something. They're too cookie cut. They need to provide something like Samsung. They have so many different tier phones to suit your
Apple
needs, like the specific needs. I don't know. They don't.
Apple has like 5 tiers. They start with the iPhone SE, which is like
now the SE they re-released it, but it's just like that's just a replacement for people that have 6s, 7s, and 8s. They don't get a better camera. They just get an A11 Bionic chip that comes from the iPhone 11, but they don't get anything. They don't get any enhanced experience. And
but
at the same time, it's $400.
If you want that enhanced experience, they give you options. They go from like the SE to the 10R. They got a bunch of options
to the XR and stuff like that. But it's at your bottom line. You're looking at is $600 if you want a new device. You know what I'm saying? That like their aftermarketability is awful. Like Samsung, they have A42s, A51s, A21s, A11s, A10es. They have the flips, the folds. They have the S21s. They have so many things for so many different demographics, and it's so easy to sell them. Being a salesman.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Apple is just it's just always that niche market. This
the thing is,
that barely know anything about phones.
Apple does that for a reason.
It's fake exclusivity. Fake exclusivity. It makes you feel like you're an exclusive club, but you're not. You're exclusive like every other person. But
like Samsung releases shit in 2015, and you're so excited about it. It's fucking insane.
No, but Apple's known for that though, is to release something like 5 years later, but they perfect it. They wait until all these companies come out with it first and fuck up and go through all the mistakes. But
the marketing
comes out
genius. It's really intriguing to
they get the stuff on budget and they sell it for a premium.
Yeah, it's fucking they sell it to the retailers for a premium too. Not even it's like. Because like I said,
they don't lose any money on the front
at my previous job, what I'm saying,
you got no money for selling them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's computers as well. It's like buying an Apple computer, you're getting a crappy product for the most part, unless you spend mega millions, and then you're like, well, even then the product didn't last that long. My wife's laptop when she was in college lasted 2 years, and then it died, and they were like, it'll cost you $300 to fix it. And I'm like,
exactly.
There's a
you just finance a new one. Like, what the fuck?
Right. There's a MacBook Pro sitting over here in one of these drawers. It's $2,500 MacBook Pro.
It's a good paperweight now, isn't it?
Oh, it's great. It just sits there. I mean, I can't doubt it. Hey guys, it helped me launch the podcast.
No, hell yeah!
It helped me launch the podcast.
It was fun for the time being. Cohesive with your phone. You can iMessage and FaceTime and do all that. All your shit on your phone is on your fucking laptop.
Well, guess what? That's what I have 2 iPads for now. That are way better than any tablet on the market.
Exactly, and they were a quarter of the price.
But I think we've hit a tangent here. Yeah, for sure. If we want to narrow ourselves back here before we lose all of our viewers. Did you guys hear about the school adjustments, though, in New York City?
Yeah. I feel bad for these kids, man. I really do. No more snow days. No more. Some of the holidays now you're going to be doing schoolwork from home. Like, this whole pandemic, it was cool. Everybody started working from home. Well, no more snow days. Oh, it snowed. Sorry, we can't go to school. Guess what? You can just sign into your computer.
Open up your laptop. You going to school.
You're going into Zoom today.
Exactly. And that's why I feel like
then it also kind of kills sick days, too, I bet. In the future, they're going to be like, oh, you're sick? Just open up your laptop.
Just go on your iPad, bro.
You'll be all right.
It makes me go into my QAnon state, though. and just think that this fucking COVID pandemic was just a whole ploy to get a better data collection from the society into how to better implement
All
the
right,
future
you've
upon
lost me at
us.
this point. No,
No, I
honestly,
believe it. I believe it. I understand where he's coming from. Yeah, because there's a lot of like, yeah, COVID was real. Obviously, no brain.
No, I
But
mean,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
COVID
sure.
to get more collection.
Yeah, government and the businesses were like, how can we use this to our advantage?
yeah, exactly. Like they're
Obviously, we're talking about conspiracy theory.
they're completely exploiting like COVID. Not that the concept of COVID was a fucking, a sham. Absolutely not. People died. But just, they're definitely using COVID to, acquire more data on us, obviously, because of like what we do on a day-to-day basis, how
Everybody was working
immensely it
from home.
changed our lives. Yeah.
Everybody went on the internet. Everybody was FaceTiming now. Everybody's zooming now. Like that
We
shit's
were-
all getting collected more than before. Yeah, they were
It's
they were
the
probably
same
already
thing
doing they
going
were
on.
doing yeah, they were doing it before, but guess what? Now
Right.
most
Now
people now are on it.
Now they definitely know that, over 70% of America have fucking computers and laptops at home, so that
Yeah.
at this point, productivity can be put at a higher standard. So that
I
people
really
can't
don't.
really bullshit with sick days and shit like that
Yeah.
anymore, in that
Well, but then
aspect.
that's the other thing. You still get your same amount of sick days. It's just people are going to be a lot more apt to working. They're going to be
Right.
in a lot better state. Like, honestly, this work from home thing is going to be really good for people in general. It's going to
No,
go show.
it has its good and bad. There's positive
Yeah,
and
for
negative side of
sure.
this.
Honestly, the full work from home, I think for the most part, is going to be good for a lot of people. It's going to help our society in general because
But the thing
dealing
is,
with commutes and things like that kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
That life expectancy is going down because people are work slaves right now. And I honestly think with this, it gives the
100%.
okay. Now I don't have to wake up at 7 to catch,
Yeah,
6:50, 6:40 in the morning to catch my 7 o'clock train.
Yeah.
I can now. I'm up at 7:20. I got 30 minutes more of rest. Oh, I'm when I'm done. I'm done. I literally just done.
put it down.
Computer's off.
Now I can go
And
do
now I'm
whatever.
over here, and it took me 10 seconds to go, computer off.
Gaming. No, yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
literally just transition into my life. I can go outside. I feel like I have more time to do stuff.
Right. So sticking along the lines of school here, though, is they're re-examining how history is taught, and like this is
Yeah.
crazy to think about because history is written by the winner. That's been known for everything, and obviously it's been whitewashed and whatnot because like
Oh, yeah.
they barely teach slavery like they do. Like, hey, slavery exists. All right, cool. Next topic. Like
Yeah.
they just brush by it.
They don't even really say it was like a mistake. They're like, black people were enslaved. Here's what slavery was. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly. So it really sucks. So it'll be really interesting to see about them re-examining history and finding a better way to teach history. Because like a prime example is we celebrate, or we don't know more. Most of us don't. Christopher Columbus Day, that history
He
put
did
to
nothing.
us. That the history that's taught to us is he founded America. He's such a good guy.
No.
Praise him. No,
Right.
he's the leader of a genocide.
Yeah, Amerigo Vespucci found the
Yeah,
Vikings.
exactly.
Nobody knows, but Vikings were the first to find North America. Like, they came here, they had a colony called Vinland. It existed in Canada.
Yeah.
And nobody talks about that.
That's in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Go play it.
Yeah, well, it becomes a little more known because people talk about it. But history is written by the winners. They're now looking at a way to teach history as a non-biased approach, a just the facts.
Right. No,
That's
and
the thing.
that video that you sent us with Trevor Noah, which
Yeah,
he's a great. I love his
Like a
one.
reference to-
He's a comedian, but he can be serious in a sense. And he was just like
Very
the greatest
intuitive, yeah.
the greatest example that he gave was the Revolutionary War. Like we write about the Revolutionary War, like we got away from these tyrants, we got away from this bad government and this and that. They could I don't know how their history's taught, but they can go, well, these guys were terrorists and they
If we
just let them
had
go or
lost,
whatever. Yeah.
like if we had lost the Revolutionary War, it would have been and then this terrorist insurrection, or
Right.
like Australia. If Australia had lost their independence, oh, look at this isle of criminals, and they revolted, and now we wouldn't have the fucked up mess that Australia is. It would still be a penal colony, maybe. Who knows?
Right. So history, man, is just so. It's one of those things where that's why am like not a believer in religion because I think history in those books have been manipulated and changed over time, and I can't personally believe those history books. To me, the Bible
Well,
itself is a history book, and
well, like,
that's another topic for another day to
yeah,
get into.
yeah, and I don't want to insult any
No.
religious viewers, but I think the issue at hand here is you don't realize that why are there so many versions of the Bible? The
Right.
Bible is a pick and choose. There are over 50, like hundreds of books that were written, and somebody went through and said, "This is true. I don't like this. I like this." It's written by man. Somebody went through and decided what is in and what is out.
Yeah, the winners
And
picked and choose the best parts.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
we whitewash over certain historical figures. Like for example, Abraham is a prophet. Like Moses is a prophet, but we whitewash over that fact. Like Judaism is like, yeah, our prophet Moses, that's our dude. That's our guy. Like the guy who talked to God. He did it. And then, Christians are like, yeah, he existed, 10 Commandments, whatever, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Jesus is the real
Yeah.
MVP here. And it's like, is it? And like,
But at
Islam's still like, Jesus was a prophet. But the real prophet to come after him was, and they,
Right.
it was what is it not, was Muhammad. So
Yeah.
Muhammad is their prophet. And they talk about the other prophets, but the issue at hand is here. It's written by it's written from a perspective of this is important. Let's not worry about this. Like we don't.
It's just insane from watching the Trevor Noah video that we were referencing. He went in to talk about how there was he played a couple clips of there were people in outrage of because there's a lot of people that are advocating trying to instill the teachings of our history and whatnot, our legitimate history, and there's a lot of people backlashing against that, saying that's going to make kids like hate white people and stuff like that, hate yada yada. But it's just like at the end of the day, if you think the context of your history is going to make someone hate you, then that alone just shows what the fuck you guys did. Like it's like not saying you're like you guys or anything.
No.
Like that, but it's
Yeah,
just,
I get what you're going for. That
Yeah.
historically, what happened in your history. Like if you try to whitewash or move past your history, you're doing yourself a disservice because mistakes happen, and we can't even talk about socioeconomic differences without saying, well, here's the issue behind it. Like talking about why black people are one of the fewest homeowners in the world. Up until the 60s, if you were
to buy
black,
that shit.
like for example, if you wrote your name and it sounded black, right off a mortgage application, right there, you lose. Like, for example, somebody did a study and they went through and put black pictures in a home and white pictures in a home. They put family photos of a random white family and a random black family. The house was valued less with a black family in it. It's the issue at hand is we're dealing with what racism has left people, where people's starting line is. It's like doing a 100-meter dash, but the guy who loses actually had to start at 150 meters back, and you started at 100. So you got 50 meters between you two. Of course he's not going to catch up unless he's Usain Bolt, all right? Like, and then even then, when they win, like we get people like the heart surgeon. What's his freaking name? Ooh, Becky Stan. I can't even remember his name. The heart surgeon, he ran on the Republican ticket. But, like, he wants to whitewash things. He doesn't want to discuss socioeconomic problems. He doesn't want to help his fellow black man. He's like, I've made it. Screw you guys.
Yeah.
He's like, he got to the end of the race, grabbed the pistol for the starter, and then shot the next guy coming down the line. Like, the issue at hand here is I think we don't focus on our history. We focus on what kind of like we don't talk about World War One. When we talk about things, we're like, we did this, we won. Like we don't talk about the Vietnam War.
Nope.
No,
People
because we
joke
lost.
and like
People
You know
get
what? We
pissed
lost
off.
that one.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
a vet
And
get
people
pissed
like-
off. You start talking
Yeah.
about that shit.
yeah, it's not Vietnam War, it's Vietnam, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, we lost. Oh no, it was a military conflict. Get the fuck out of here. We lost the Vietnam War because
Exactly.
the communists beat us. They won. That's it. Like, and we don't talk about things like World War One. We weren't really involved, but World War One shaped history. Without World War One, there's so many things like mustard gas, chemical warfare. We don't talk about these horrific things that happen that really shape the way the world works. Like, we don't talk about how, fucked up people came to power. Like, we don't really look and examine. Like, do you know why World War II started? Okay, see, there you go. World War II started with an assassination of an archduke, somebody with royalty, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, I believe it was, of Austria. Like, that sparked World War II.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nobody talks about that.
No, they only teach. They teach when we got involved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what they
That's
teach.
the thing. They talk
And
about
how we
Normandy.
dominated and went over there.
That's the thing. Like, we don't talk about how, like, the rest of the world's like, America, stay out of this. We don't want you. And America is like, okay, whatever. So then we do that with the history. We're like, they didn't want us. We don't care. Yada yada yada. Normandy. Okay, what happened after Normandy? We don't talk about these things, and that's, I think, the big issue we're dealing with here. We have to re-examine how we got to where we are now, and we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk, like, yes, I get people are like, economically disenfranchised. They started at a worse spot. Like, let's be honest, my family came here after slavery. Like, yeah, I'm white, so I got a leg up. But it's not like my family were slave owners, but it's still, you have to examine the people who were here. They did something that was wrong, and now we can talk about the results that come from that.
Yeah.
How the police are founded with, they were slave catchers. That was a big thing. And then they branched off into, that was the roots of the United States police forces.
Yeah, the original definition of, like, the ranger was he was ranging them up. Like, he was going out there to
rounding them up. Yeah,
that was obviously out west and stuff like that, and I guess in the South partially. I don't know if the ranger term was really in the South or not.
But that's the issue we deal with. We don't really talk about all of our history, and, like, let's be honest here. The history can teach, World War II better than 4 years in my high school history class. I didn't learn anything. Hell, all we do is we don't even look at the Constitution. We just have to, memorize the Bill of Rights, the preamble to stuff. Like, all men are created equal. Well, okay, you memorized it. That's it. We're done talking about it. We don't even look at it. We don't even look at, what an amendment is, what it takes to get to an amendment. We don't even talk about how it was written. We don't talk about any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
We just talk.
Because if they teach too much, guess what?
People will know too much then.
Yes, you are key. But I think it's time to wrap the episode up. That was a hell of a conversation we just had for about 2 hours, man. That was great. That was definitely great. You guys have any last thoughts before we get this closed out?
No, but I definitely reaching out to our viewers. If any of you would like to come on and discuss with us, on a topic, we'd always like to get more opinions, talk more about stuff, because I don't know everything.
No, we're always open.
Nobody
for
knows
more
everything.
This is all personal opinion, personal experience, wisdom. This is we like to we want to
We're
conjugate.
never here to attack. Like, if you have a different opinion too, we're not here to attack you.
Yeah, we're willing to listen, because everyone has a different walk of life they've lived. But, like,
as you can see, some of us on the show have different opinions on certain things too. But we're not out here like, let me slit your throat, like, you're wrong. Fuck you. No. Fuck no.
Yeah. No. We're not out here. Violence isn't the answer, and I'm still glad we're rounding up those insurrectionists, because, like, let's be honest, history is taught by the winners, but at the same time, like, that shit. Think about what would have happened if that insurrection, succeeded. Like,
Revolutionary War too.
Yeah, Donald Trump took over, and then how do they write about us, the ones who supposedly faked the win of the election?
Yeah.
How would they talk about us?
That's a hell of a conspiracy or alternate universe to talk about. But, it's definitely time to wrap it up here. Just want to say thanks to all the live viewers that we got today. I think we got up to like 5 or 6 today, so that's good. And shout out to everybody who checks us out later on YouTube. Make sure you check out these live episodes every Thursday at 7 p.m. and also the talk show with Vic every Friday at 7 p.m. as well. Or check it out on YouTube at another time. But Miko, where can we find you at, man?
You can find me at Meek Sweat, all one word, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, all of that shit, man. I'm always posting all the time, and I'm always here at 7 o'clock on Thursdays.
Yes, sir. And what about you, Roger?
If you're watching me live, you're already here. But if not, it's twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion. Starts with an A.
Awesome. You can find me at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _, Xbox X Never Space Chillin. Party up, game with me, hit me up. Vic Brubacher on Facebook. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to come on the show, just let me know. And also the talk show is on twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin. That's also where I'm try and stream gaming whenever I can. I just haven't really been in the mood to stream games. Hasn't been me yet. I'll eventually get into that realm. Especially once I get my own place, that'll change for sure. But just want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
Peace, guys.